We're living on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
Hey, I'm FTFE, welcome back to the channel that does the stupidity what debating flat earthers has apparently done to my hairline. I was watching some of my earlier videos today, because I'm remastering a few when I'm starting my new schedule of videos. I'm remastering a few of my old ones, and I was looking at my hairline, and 3 years ago when I started this, there was so much more hair. Good Lord, I've aged a lot in 3 years. Thank you everyone for joining. I'm glad you could be here. Finally, we have Gleason with us. We're going to have a talk about the flat earth. Gleason, hello, welcome to the channel. How are you doing? Are you there, Gleason? And he left. Ha! He was there. And then he's just left as we start. 1 second. Well, that was a good one, wasn't it? That was the quickest debate I've ever had. Literally, just as I was about to introduce him, he disappeared. Joseph Burke says, how many times have I debated Gleason? I haven't. This was going to be the first time, but he appears to have rage quit before the debate actually started. So that's a good start, I guess. No, the opposite of a good start. That's right. I'm messaging, trying to find out what's going on. Bear with me 2 seconds. He was there. He was ready. He was willing. Well, I thought he was anyway. Maybe he's just trying to fool good old FTFE into creating a stream and having no content. Who knows? What happened? You left. That's Marshall $5 says, I know I sound like a broken record, but if the heliocentric model is wrong, what has been causing the phases of Venus when observed? Love the show. Magic, I guess, would be the answer. Judy Bassett for €8 says, I like your channel. Me too. I've got a lot coming up this year, including the proper launch of my TikTok. I know. The kids are all over it. Oh, Gleason's back in. Let's see. Gleason is connecting to audio. He's still connecting to audio, so here, let's see what happens. Gleason, are you there? Gleason,
Hello.
hello.
Hi. What's up? What's going on?
You left just as I was about to introduce you there. That was weird.
I
Ri-
clicked to update
uh,
client on Zoom.
right. Okay, no worries. Right, hello. Welcome to the show, Gleason. This is your first time here. Thank you for joining. I do appreciate you taking the time. Are you any relation to the famous Alexander Gleason?
I don't know, to be honest.
No. Do you know who
There's
he
no
is?
way. Yeah, I know who he is.
Came up
Tried
with
to look, but
the
I couldn't
Gleason
really
map and
find
everything,
anything.
yeah? Right, anyway, why don't you just take a couple of minutes, introduce yourself, and let people know why you think the Earth is flat?
Yeah, basically, I used to be more into the heliocentric model, obviously being raised in a secular school in England, just being taught mainstream science and evolution, all that stuff. And I used to love all that. Richard Dawkins, Neil deGrasse Tyson, all those people watching documentaries all the time. And then eventually just started coming across people saying the Earth's flat, telling them stupid, having loads of arguments, and then watching videos. I think Eric Dubay is one of the first people. I know he's one that gets joked about a lot. I don't watch him that much nowadays, but he does have some good videos. One of his ones actually made me think that I couldn't debunk everything that I thought I could. So it was more like a process of trying to debunk all the things that he was saying and then realizing I couldn't, and I still don't believe anyone can. So that's it really. And as time has gone by, it's just progressed into a lot of other things as well that we know now aren't true, that we get told by the same people who tell us the Earth's a ball, basically. But yeah, that's it. There's not much else to say, really.
So what would you say was the killer bit of evidence that switched you over to the flat side?
It was more of an accumulation. There was some things where I'd be like, oh, that's pretty drastic, but it's not enough to sway me. But then once so many things were like that, it was like more of me. There was more proof to believe in flat Earth than globe Earth, even though there was more of me that wanted to believe it was a globe. So yeah, there's loads of things, mainly like curvature proof, testing if there's curvature. I think it is one that's a very confusing with people, because some people might see something they think is proof of curvature, but it's not actually. Like, most people believe they've seen it out of a plane window. So did I. But we know, even if you believe the Earth's a globe, they tell you that you can't see curvature below about 150,000, maybe 200,000 feet, especially not at 30,000 feet in a plane. And planes do have curved windows, and even if they don't, I've looked out of a plane window before, and my dad's pointed out, like, oh, look at the curve, and I've looked and gone, oh yeah. But now I've looked since, and there isn't a curve, and you can't see one at that altitude. So that's one example of misconceptions people have, and pretty much everything that people think proves the globe is the exact same thing as that. It's like you really think it's true, but then it's not. It's just a matter of actually thinking about it for long enough. But we'll get into the more proofs later on.
All right. Well, I said, to be fair, I'd give you a fair chance to get your points across. So how about I give you 10 minutes to present, what you would say is some strong evidence for the Earth being flat. I'll get my whiteboard and I'll make some notes, and we can have a discussion about it. How's that sound?
Yeah, I won't need 10 minutes, to be honest. I think I told you I've not written stuff down for this or anything, so I'm going off the top of my head really. But I've spent a long time.
If you need to screen share anything or anything, there you should be able to have permission to do that. If you've got any videos or anything, but I'll give you up to 10 minutes. Take as much as you need. Tell me when you're done, and then we can have a chat about the things you said. So over to you.
So I'm probably best off sort of deconstructing things that I get asked about. Usually, I don't usually tell people what my best proofs are, but it's the absence of proof really. So the globe is saying the Earth is curved. It has to have a certain curvature to it, which means certain things should be hidden over certain distances. And that can be tested. I believe that can be tested anywhere on Earth. You shouldn't see, say, beyond a certain, say, 100 miles. There should be certain islands, countries, boats, things you can't see. Not just 100 miles, but just as an example. So whatever they say the size of the Earth is in the globe model, I don't know what they say it is now. And people say it's an oblate spheroid and stuff. And I think most people don't even know that. They think it's an actual sphere. So yeah, things should be dropping. And the thing they've said on all the videos is it's 8 inches per mile squared. I know some people, they now say it's not actually that, but it doesn't matter. There still should be curvature that's pretty consistent to make the Earth into an actual sphere or ball, whatever. But we can test that at sea and at altitude with the optics we have nowadays. You can actually see like hundreds of miles, and they say, yeah, if it's a ball, you should be able to see certain things, but not at sea level. Like not anywhere near sea level. There should be every mile there should be curvature. The over distance becomes steeper and steeper, and things will be obstructed by a physical curve, but that's not true. And they say, oh, if you look up what NASA's top 10 proofs are on YouTube, that's like a popular video in the past year, that all of those proofs are like complete nonsense. I think Eric Dubé did a video for each one of those proofs. And their best ones are like that boats go over the curve, which is a myth debunked, ages. That's what we got told in school, which it's not true. They say people used to be dumb and believe the Earth's flat, and they used to think boats fell off the edge. That's not true anyway. Like, I don't think people ever thought that. And that's because they didn't have the optics we do now. We can zoom in with a phone. We can zoom in with P900s that people do. And you can see once the boat goes, you zoom in and then it comes back. The more you zoom, the more it'll come back. And the only thing that prevents us from watching that boat travel its entire distance is one, atmospheric density, just the particles that are in the air. So it becomes like a soup or a fog over distance. That's what fog is, a denser accumulation of air particles or water vapor. That's one thing that will prevent us from seeing infinitely. Another thing is the zoom capability. If your zoom is maxed out, eventually the boat's going to keep going away and disappear like it did for your eyes in the first place. And then all that is a matter of zoom. If we had infinite zoom and there was no particles in the air, there was no physical obstruction, just a flat plane with a boat sailing. Say it was just water on the Earth, a boat was sailing. You could watch that sail like the whole Earth with an infinite zoom, as long as you gained altitude as well. Because no, that's not true. You could actually see that because we're talking no particles in the air here. So you could watch that boat from where you're stood with that infinite zoom for the entire length of the Earth, because there'd be nothing obstructing it. It'd just be water. And maybe over distance, the waves would actually block it as well. But that's just another thing that blocks things on a flat Earth. So yeah, just take that. Just if you think that that's not true, and there's another reason why we can't, you think it's an actual curve going over, like you tell me. I'm better at coming up with things as we talk about it, to be honest.
Okay, so why do things disappear bottom up instead of in their totality as once, just getting smaller? They actually disappear bottom up, and you can't zoom in the bits that have gone over the curve. It doesn't work like that. You can zoom in on a boat that has disappeared because of angular resolution, because it's too small for the camera to see. But luckily there's big boats. And if you zoom in on those and they've started to go physically over the curve and you can see them disappear bottom up first, you cannot zoom that bottom back in. And I have proof of that.
Well, yeah, I was going to say angular resolution. I've actually seen experiments where people will say have a table or a flat surface, and they'll have a camera and like a brick or a coin, something right in front of the camera, so it's filling up the whole screen. And then they move that away. It's a long table. They move it away in a straight line, just back and back. Obviously, it shrinks in size, and then as it gets to the farthest points, it disappears bottom up. There's no curve there. It's disappearing bottom up because angular resolution causes things to disappear bottom up.
There's no reason angular resolution would cause things to disappear bottom up, and I've done that experiment myself. I have to download the video of that again when I did it on the table. But no, angular resolution causes things to disappear in their entirety, not bottom first. That's what angular resolution is. It's the how big something seems to be based on how far away that thing is. And there's no reason it would disappear bottom up. If part of the bottom has disappeared, you wouldn't be able to see the thing at all.
There is though, because if it's on water, it might not be just the angular resolution that's causing it to disappear bottom up. It is on a reflective surface. It's on water, and it is touching the water from the bottom, so it wouldn't disappear from the top. If it's going to disappear from anywhere, it would be the bottom.
Let me show you this video. So this is Dazzo the cameraman using a P1000 at the beach in Australia, right? And he's looking, and you can see these boats that are on the horizon. And this is a video. It's not just still. This is actually, he's just pausing it as he goes along. But this is the video where he does it. And what he does is he sees these three boats on the horizon, and he looks at two of them, and he can see that one of them appears to be, half disappeared. And he wants to test the theory of zooming in to bring something back up, above the horizon, which is what you're claiming. You're claiming that if it's disappeared over the horizon, you can zoom in and bring it back. So he tests that theory. And what he does is, in the video, he zooms in a little, and then he takes a screenshot of the ship on the left, which is partially obscured by the horizon. Now, if the claim of Flat Earth is true, and zooming in brings things back above the horizon, then as he zooms in on this, it will bring that boat back up above the horizon to look similar to the one to the right of it. But when he zooms in and takes another screenshot, what you find is that there is absolutely no difference between the two. So this was the screenshot on the bottom when it was zoomed out. As you can see, it's a little bit more fuzzy because, there is atmospheric density and fog and stuff. And then zoomed in, and all zooming in does is increase the angular resolution. Zoomed in, it shows that exactly the same amount of the boat is hidden behind the horizon. And that means that no amount of zooming in is going to bring the bottom portion of that boat back up above the horizon. You can see it's exactly the same proportions, the same amount of the boat above the horizon, zoomed out and zoomed in.
All right.
And it's a pretty
hold
clear
on
day.
Then. So you're saying that boat there on the left that's below the curve. That's what you believe.
That it would appear that it's being physically obstructed by something, because zooming in did not cause the bottom of the boat to come back in.
How far away is that boat to this cameraman?
I'm not sure that he actually, on the video, he gives the details of where they were. Let me just have a look. The distant sinking ship, Princess Paula, is 12.6 miles. So this one here is 12.6 miles. The closer ship, Glorious Mahata, was 8.86 miles. So there's a difference of about 4 miles between these two ships out at sea. So the one on the left.
So that distance is only about 12 miles to that second.
Yes, the distance to this ship here is 12.6 miles, and the distance to this ship here is 8.86 miles.
Right. So this is easy to disprove then, because it's pretty obvious that boat there on the left isn't that obstructed by curvature. Like, that's
really,
so
there's
drastic.
half of it missing.
No, exactly. That's nowhere near far away enough for half a big boat like that to be. It's almost gone.
What do you base that on?
But you can see behind it when he shows at the start of the video. You can see everything behind the boat.
You can see some islands off to the right here, because there is some
Right.
islands that are further out than these boats. But again,
Yes.
these islands don't appear more as you zoom in. But this is what we expect to see on a globe. That something that is physically obstructed does not come back
Let
above
me
the
finish
horizon
the
as you
first
zoom in.
point. Let me finish the first point. You're saying that that boat on the left is obstructed by a physical curve, but it's clear that the
I'm
picture
saying it's
he was
obstructed
taking-
by the horizon, yes.
Right, yeah, it's the same thing in that model.
Well, no, the horizon
boat
isn't
on
the curve, it's an effect of the curve.
Yeah, only in that model. Anyway, on the left, the boat, you're saying it's only 12 miles. That's nothing in curvature. It
How
wouldn't
much should
even
how
be-
much should we see hidden?
Just let
after 12
me
miles?
finish a sec, because when it's the structured debate, I'd actually have time to make a
Well,
point.
yeah, no, I'm just wondering how you're coming to that conclusion of how much you should see.
Just let
based
me
on how
finish
far
it,
away.
because that question won't matter when I've got to the end.
Right. Okay. Carry on.
Just let me paint the picture. You can clearly see. Just go back to the starter section where he shows the unzoomed. Right. So where is the boats
just let
there?
it play.
He was zooming on.
Well, you can see the bigger one here. I'll just let the video play. So that big one that you can see in the center is 8.886 miles away, and you can just see some of the masts of it on the left,
Right.
which is
So that actually
further, I
looks
think
like
about
it's
4
quite,
miles difference.
That looks like it's quite a cloudy, foggy, like misty day. You can't see very far, and I actually live by the sea, so
Yeah, me
I
too.
look at this all the time, and I know every single day it's different, and I can actually see an
Well,
island.
it's pretty clear to me.
That's,
I mean,
Yeah, it's not bad,
you can
but-
see
but
the
you can see-
detail
you
on
can
that
see-
boat that's 8.6 miles away. You can see the detail pretty well when you zoom in. Now, the further you go out to sea, the conditions will change, obviously. And that's the point. But the entire point of this here, what I'm showing is that you cannot zoom things back in once they have gone past the horizon. Once they
Right,
start
but
to be
you don't know-
obstructed,
you don't
bottom
know that
first,
that
they
boat
cannot be
that's furthest
zoomed
away.
back.
That
What-
boat
so-
that's furthest away, how do you know that that's not some form of refraction right there? Because any picture that a flat earther will say is proof that the instant claim is refraction, but that boat
Well,
on the left clearly looks like something's going on weird with that. That's not
No, it doesn't.
curvature over that
It
distance.
looks-
not
there's you
curvature.
can see there's hardly any difference between the shapes of these boats. You can compare the shapes of what is the
No,
bridge
no, it's
tower
the
to
same.
this
I know
one.
it's the same shape.
You know,
I mean,
and
something
there's
going on.
no massive distortion going on. Yes, there's always refraction because we have an atmosphere. However, according to subject matter expert Andrew Thomas, who Quantum Eraser loves to quote, refraction tends to bend things downwards because the density, whether it was flat or a globe, because there's a density of atmosphere going from higher to lower as you go up, the natural state of refraction is to cause light to bend downwards, which will allow you to see further than you should, and literally over a curve. It's very, very, very unlikely the conditions where refraction will actually bend the other way and bring things up. That doesn't happen unless it's under very particular conditions. In general, what you see with refraction, especially out over sea, is that it bends light down, which allows you to see further over the curve. It just doesn't happen the other way in most cases.
Right, what I'm trying to say is that boat on the left, I know they're the same design, they're pretty much the same boat, not exactly the same. That's not like that picture isn't like a good an actual real clear shot. There's something going on there, like that's
What's going on there?
distorting the second boat. I'm telling you, I live on the sea, and you can see way further than that. I can see boats like the first boat from way further
so
out, and
what
I can see
specifically
a
is going
country
on?
70
Because,
miles
like-
away every day with the naked eye. So that
Right.
boat can't possibly be hidden by a physical curve. That's
Well,
just
I'm
not
showing
true.
you that there is a physical obstruction there. a very, very clear physical obstruction. And you can see from the masts that are
But that's
above
easily
the horizon.
atmospheric conditions.
No,
That's
what kind of
easily-
atmospheric condition would cause this? And
I don't
what
know,
evidence
but that's
do you
the thing.
have?
You don't know either.
Yeah,
You
I
have
do.
to be
I've
there on the
studied
day.
atmospheric conditions and refraction a lot since this whole, I got into this whole argument.
Yeah, but
and
you're not here on
the
this
experiments
stream.
behind refraction disagree with what you say as to how it actually functions.
I'm not saying
refraction
it's just
is a
refraction.
well-known effect, but there is no atmospheric. It's not just disappearing because of angular resolution, because you can still make out a lot of the boat. It's not disappearing because of some kind of weird refraction, because you can literally see how it's not distorted. This is just normal, standard, everyday refraction that you're seeing here. And the only conclusion here is that part of it is being obstructed by the curvature of the Earth. But there's other examples of this, bear with me.
Right, but before we move on to that next thing, I didn't even get to say the actual point I was trying to make.
Right, okay, sorry, yeah, carry on.
We can see things way beyond 12 miles, like without the bottom even being obstructed. That's
Sometimes,
clearly,
yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah,
agree.
that's
In
clearly there's
certain
something going on.
conditions,
In
in
that you said
certain
there's 3
conditions, you
miles.
can. I mean, if there was no atmosphere...
let me just finish the point. Let me
Right,
just
okay,
finish the
carry
point,
on.
because we're arguing over something I've not even got out yet.
Right, carry on.
You said there's 3 miles between those two boats on the screen.
About closer to 4, sorry.
Right, so what we're looking at on this first boat, there's nothing much going on. You can pretty much see the whole thing, but then in the distance between that and the second boat, there's not, even in the globe model, if that was the real curvature, the Earth would be tiny. Like, that's such a drastic amount of curve for that boat to be hidden over such a short distance. And I'm telling you for a fact that's not true, because
What
I
maths
literally
would you
live-
have to
Bro, just let me
confirm that?
speak. Let me speak. I literally live on the sea, and I tested it myself. I can see not only boats. There is a boat, a ferry, which goes like almost every day, that I can see way further than 12 miles away. We can see wind farms 30 miles away, pretty much the bottom up from where they come
Okay.
out of the water to the top. That's
So,
with the naked eye. And we can
here's the
see a
thing,
70
right?
mile away island.
Right,
So I
but
know
here's the
for a
thing.
fact you can see naked eye further than this image. So him zooming on a...
Yeah, here's the thing. Refraction allows you to see further sometimes. Refraction changes
I'm not saying this is just refraction.
Yeah,
This
no,
could
but
be
let
like...
me let me finish. Let me finish.
anything.
Refraction changes the apparent horizon where it apparently appears. Refraction also changes how far away things can appear afterwards. So the fact that it looks like there's a massive drop here is irrelevant, because that could be one of the effects of refraction. But what refraction
Right,
cannot
that's what I'm
do...
saying. That's all
But
I
hold
said
on,
it
hold on.
could
Let me
be
finish. Let me finish.
refraction.
What refraction
You're
cannot
agreeing
do...
with me.
No, what refraction cannot do is make half of the boat, well, more than half of the boat, disappear bottom up, whilst leaving the rest of it undistorted, like in this picture. That simply does not happen with refraction. There is no refractive conditions that would do that. There's no miraging, there's no reflecting, there's nothing there. It is very clear that it's just partially obscured by a physical obstruction. And as I was going to go into, there is other examples of this that show the exact same thing.
You could easily disprove that by working out the distance between those two boats and the exact height of the boats, and then figuring out how much curvature is, and the same amount of curvature you would be able to apply to how tall the boat is, and work out if that much should actually be covered, and I doubt it is. Like, that's
Okay.
not a lot of curvature. If it's
Yeah,
like 8
again,
inches per mile.
That's not even the
whatever.
correct formula. I mean, do you
I
know
know,
where,
but even
just,
if it
just
is,
out
even
of
if it's
interest,
double that,
just
not-
out of interest, do you know where that formula came from?
Not specifically, but I'm aware that
Yeah, right.
you say there's a
So-
different formula, but it doesn't matter. There's no curvature anywhere.
Well,
It
there,
doesn't
there
matter
is,
what
and
the
I've just shown one bit of evidence. I can show another now, and then I can also show professional surveyors actually measuring curvature over a lake of water, which is a good one.
I've seen a lot of lake experiments. It's the way people that do them in the globe. They're already expecting it to be a globe. They're not.
No,
testing
when you
it.
simply just do measurements
other
and you
reason.
just analyze the results, that you're not presupposing anything. You're just measuring, and that's
Scientists
it.
do that though. Scientists always.
Well, that's
You just
because
go to bias
to test the
yeah.
hypothesis, you have to make a prediction, and you can't make a prediction without making an assumption. So science actually requires us
But they
to
make
make
a lot
assumptions.
of mistakes. Just because the scientist doesn't mean every test they do.
Well, everyone makes mistakes. That's why you don't just do kind of science once. You have multiple tests and stuff. And science is basically it's a war of attrition. You know, it's rinse and repeat
Well, it's the
until
scientific method.
you get the result. The scientific method, according to Sir Francis Richard Bacon, who came up with the scientific method, is that you, after you observe something, you form a hypothesis about it. Using that hypothesis, you make a prediction to be able to test your hypothesis. After you've done the test, you analyze your results and see if it matches your hypothesis. If not, you go back, adjust your hypothesis, and try again. That is by the creator of the modern scientific method, Sir Richard Francis Bacon.
Yeah, I know. I don't disagree with that.
Right. So, you literally have to, according to the scientific method, make assumptions, because you cannot do a prediction without making an assumption. That's how you predict something. You say, well, I assume this is going to happen based on what I've said. And then you test that assumption.
Oh, no. What I was trying to say is that people that are doing sort of experiments to prove the globe, maybe like a lot of them people, flat Earth isn't even on their mind. So if the result comes in one way or another, they're not even gonna think about the Earth being flat. Because I know.
Well, here's the thing.
I used to be a globe believer, and I used to defend it with everything I had.
Me and every glober that I know, we are willing to change our mind. That's the thing. We are willing to change our mind if we can be presented with evidence that is sufficient to make us change our mind, but we never have been. And then we have things like this, when Red's rhetoric was in Tampa Bay. Again, with the P1000 flat earther camera of choice. Right, here's the camera that he's using, and the Nikon P1000 was pointed at Tampa Bay, which is 24 miles away. Okay? There's what they were pointing at, so they're overlooking this way. Tampa was found on the horizon. So there it is, another camera looking into the P1000 in the viewfinder, showing that they can see Tampa Bay on the horizon. But obviously, that image seems to show that there's parts of the buildings missing at the bottom. So what they did was they got another picture of closer up, right, and overlaid those buildings on. There's a bit of parallax shift between the positions, but you can see the scale of the buildings is exactly the same. And you can even count the floors and see that there's just some literally missing. And it shows that when you are 24 miles away, there is a obstruction. And no amount of zooming in, because they zoomed in to get this, no amount of zooming in brought the bottom of it back. And when you compare it to something that is closer up, you find that literally half of the buildings are missing. This is the kind of observations that you get when you actually test what you want to test. You make a prediction. Well, the prediction is that if I'm looking over this 24 miles, then a lot of these buildings are going to be missing when I'm looking at them. And that happens to match the prediction. That is what happened in reality. And so what do you say about this one?
Let's see the actual photo again that he had, not the one over the water.
What, the closer up one?
Yeah, that one, yeah.
That one?
Just the one back with the water still in.
Oh, right, okay, that one.
Yeah. Right, so again, you're saying this is a city, basically.
Yeah, this is Tampa Bay in Florida.
Over 24 miles?
24 miles, yeah.
Right, so what about these in the foreground then? That seagull and this boat, how far are they from the camera?
I'm not sure, but obviously a lot closer.
Right, but if this is 24 miles we're talking, then that could be maybe half the distance. That could be...
Okay.
That seagull could be like... Is that a seagull? It looks like one on my screen.
It could be. It looks a bit like a Klingon bird of prey, to be honest, from here, but...
Right, if that's a seagull, and this happens to be almost... Even if it's almost halfway, that's the same distance. You're saying that second boat in the other picture was...
Yeah, but again, I have no information about how far away or close that is. It's irrelevant.
But
That's
shouldn't
not
that
what we're looking
seagull
at.
be? Shouldn't that seagull be like heavily, highly obscured? If a boat can be almost half hidden,
Well,
a
again,
tiny
I've
seagull,
no,
its angular resolution should be
you're
minimal.
you're purely making assumptions. I have no information. Nobody here has any information about how far away that boat, dock, and seagull are. We're looking at the buildings at Tampa Bay in
Is
the
there any
Florida.
zoom on this? Is there any zoom on this at the start?
He just shows the camera with it in the horizon. He does have like the raw files and stuff, but he's shown himself in debates. This video was just kind of the wrap up of it. And again, what's here?
That's not my only point. That was just like a tiny aspect.
Yeah.
That's just a tiny aspect. But what I'm saying is, this is 24 miles.
Yeah.
This is 24 miles. All I'm saying is, if that's his maximum zoom, and that's a P1000, you're saying, if that's his maximum zoom over that distance, that's got to be that horizon there that we can see that seagull, and surely that's got to be pretty far away. If you could zoom in before on those 12-mile boats.
Again, stop focusing on the seagull and the boat. They are irrelevant to the point.
No, they're not irrelevant, because if they're within that distance, then your point is fully debunked, because you're saying there's a physical curve over 12 miles. How could you see a seagull even close to that?
Yeah, again, I've no information about how far away that boat is, and the position of the horizon is apparent because of refraction.
Saying it's a full zoom. This fully disintegrates your point. If that's a full zoom, that seagull is over that distance. It should be gone.
How do you know? Again, we have no information about how far away that seagull is. We have no information at all on the seagull.
So that means he's not fully zoomed in then with the P1000.
How does it mean he's not fully zoomed in?
Because that seagull's almost touching the horizon, which means it's at the farthest point.
It seems quite far away from the horizon to me. Again, we have no information.
It's touching the line.
But again, that not even necessarily is that seagull above that boat. It could be closer, it could be further. We have no information about the position of the seagull. We have no information about the position of the boat. And we have no information about the position of the dock. What we do have is the buildings in Tampa Bay, Florida, that are being hidden. Oh, we do. They're 24 miles away. We have information about them. They are 24 miles away. That's the information that we have. Those buildings are 24 miles away. We do not have a number of how far away that seagull is. The seagull is irrelevant.
If you're so good with maths, then why can't you work out what is 100 times zoom, what distance that's
because we have no information at all about the position of that boat or seagull. They are irrelevant.
Do you not understand what I'm saying here, though? If he is fully zoomed in,
I understand you're trying to avoid the point of half of the buildings missing.
No, I know we can get to that. I'm not even touching the surface yet. I'm just pointing out the first thing I saw.
Again, the seagull and the boat there are irrelevant.
They shouldn't be.
We have no information about where they are. You are making assumptions. It is a complete non sequitur.
Right. So this is your proof the Earth is a spinning ball. This video.
No, but this says nothing. This says nothing about the motion of the ball. This says nothing about the motion of the Earth at all. We can get onto the motion.
You can see that building on the left is fully distorted.
Again, you can actually count the amount of floors that are on there. All right, you can count the amount of floors and compare them to this, and you see that there's actually a certain amount of floors that are missing. There's no denying that there's distortion. There is refraction. But that doesn't explain where half the buildings and the shoreline have gone. Refraction does not make things just disappear bottom up for no reason. What you need to explain, there's two options, right? Either...
no, that's not right. That's not right. The building on the right is taller in that image. It's above the horizon. Look, it's above.
The buildings are the same height.
It's not even right. Look, go back. That building on the right,
hold on, let me change the
building, that's taller.
No, the buildings are the same height.
Right. No, look, that building on the right, there's so much more of that above the water than in the photo you're showing.
No, there's the same amount. It's here, and you see that that's the height of it.
It's not.
There.
Look.
That's a different building.
I'm looking at that one.
Yeah, that's this building because there's a slight parallax shift, right? That's this building here. So they're the same height. Right. What you've got to understand is that
Right, so it's taken from a different angle. It's taken from a different angle.
But all it is a slightly different parallax. It's still showing the same height of the buildings.
That's not
parallax doesn't change height.
Right, but you've taken
vertical parallax doesn't change
angle,
height.
Therefore, it could be obscured by another building. It could be obscured.
But there is no other buildings. There's no other buildings there. There's no other buildings there. There is no other buildings to obscure the picture.
How do you know? You don't have the
because you can't see them. Where's the other buildings that are obscuring it? Please point them out.
Look. You're saying it's taken from it's a different angle.
Yes, there's a slight parallax shift to the left.
Over those distances, all those buildings are distorted. You can clearly see there's a white thing there that's like a long rectangular shape.
Yeah, that's part of the top of the other building that you see when it goes back.
Right, but because that's taken from the right side, this is from a more angle to the right. That's not visible here. It's easily just anything else, like, and
it's easily just anything else other than what matches the globe predictions that should happen.
It doesn't match the globe prediction at all.
It absolutely matches the globe predictions.
These are proxies.
Again, it matches the globe predictions, and the globe predictions. Wait, I'm talking. It matches the globe predictions because the globe predictions include the known effects of refraction. All right, unless you want to redefine what refraction does.
You've given me two dodgy photos, and
neither of them are dodgy. The first one was even more clear than this one. But
you can't confirm if it's a full zoom. If that's not a full zoom, then it's not even a test because you've not zoomed in fully. Therefore,
but none of the buildings were brought back.
Yeah, because they're all pretty much on the same level in that compared to that distance. Like,
all right. So what you're saying that half these buildings are underwater then?
No, it depends on the day. If you went and did that on another day, I bet you could see more.
Yeah, but that refraction, seeing different amounts on a different day does not explain why half the buildings are underneath the horizon.
No, because they won't always be half. They won't always be half.
However, we can do even better than that.
That's
right?
not
we can do even better. We can actually go and look at professional surveyors.
You can just go and watch some flat earthers that
curve.
zoom in over hundreds of miles and they show things from
and
the
they
bottom,
show what we
like
expect with refraction. Yes, you cannot just
although if you can't
refraction.
see 24 miles, if you can't see 24 miles, then you're saying that nothing should be
refraction changes the amount you can see each day. You even agreed to that.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Of course it does. Refraction can literally change the apparent position. No, it can literally change the apparent position hundreds of miles. According to subject matter expert, Andrew Thomas Young,
subject matter expert, that means nothing. That means
it means he's actually the world's leading expert in refraction.
Right, but that's like saying Neil deGrasse Tyson is the world's leading astrophysicist. You're just putting a title to someone and giving them
no,
credit.
he literally is. His amount of his papers and stuff that he's had published with what he does, he is known as the world's leading expert in refraction because he spent his life studying it. Right. Okay. Anyway, if we go to jessewazowski.wordpress.com/2020/0404/ the Earth's curvature plainly visible. Jesse is a professional surveyor, and so he has the correct equipment for measuring curve over distances, measuring angular elevation and stuff, right? And this page has 10 examples of him being able to measure the curvature of the Earth over relatively short distances. My favorite one, we go down here, is this one. Observations made using the water surface of the Cooper River Lake as a level reference. So this is a lake where it's about a mile across, 1.38 miles, and he set up theodolites one side and the other.
1 mile, did you say?
1.38 miles, yes. Okay.
What? And this is a test for curvature?
Yes, because if there's curvature over greater distances, then we'd be able to see it over 1 mile, right?
No, not necessarily.
Well, so when does the curvature start?
Not really, though.
Does it start? Wait, no, hold on. Does the curvature start after 1 mile? Or is the curvature going to always be there? Please don't strawman the model.
Let's use what the Globers say. Let's imagine a basketball, and they say,
yeah, okay, I'm not talking about a basketball. I'm talking about this observation, right? This is a measurement of the curvature of the Earth over 1.38 miles. Now, he uses his surveying equipment to set up theodolites either side of the lake, using all the adjustments and stuff that are known for refraction, and sights the theodolites at each other. And over the 3 different positions that he did it, on all 3 of them, there was a difference in the elevation, which a difference in where the theodolites sighted each other, which wouldn't happen if the Earth was flat. If they're both set up level either side, then they're going to sight at each other. But what he found was every time there was a distance between the sight of the theodolite and where it was aiming. And he actually did the maths afterwards and shows that it matches the curvature of the Earth that we predict. So literally over 1.38 miles, you can measure that there is curvature to water. Water, large bodies of water, and we can agree a lake at 1.38 miles from shore to shore is a large body of water. And this shows that lakes of water, large bodies of water, do indeed curve with an arc that matches the circumference of the Earth. How can you debunk actual empirical measurements? Not a laser, which fires a bit of, a coherent light beam that is quite easily affected by refraction with no controls, but using actual equipment that surveyors use that take into account adjustments for things like refraction, because, it's their job.
So you're saying there's curvature over a 1 mile lake?
Well, yes, there's a curvature
Measurable.
everywhere. But here we have it. The evidence showing that it is measurable. Yes. And that's
Right,
what
so
we
how
expect.
much curvature is there over a 1 mile lake? What should you not be able to see? How much feet?
It's
be missing?
the difference was in literally centimeters or something. But all from 1.58 meters to 1.63 meters. So they're
Meters of curvature over 1 mile.
Well, that's centimeters.
high.
1 point. 1 point. The difference between them is just actually a few degrees. Well, not even a few degrees. A few arc seconds of distance of angular difference between them. Right. So very, very little, but the amount that matches the predictions of the curvature of the Earth. And all the measurements are all here. And it's, very little, but a noticeable amount that you can even see on a picture that he's taken through the sites of the theodolite, showing that the sites don't match each other over the 1.38 miles of water. Showing without a shadow of a doubt that water curves with an arc that matches the curve of the Earth. This is what we expect. Of course there's curvature over a lake if the entire Earth is curved. And if you can measure it over a small amount, then that shows that there's curvature. Simple as that.
So how many feet are you saying is obscured over a mile? If I'm looking over a mile lake,
There isn't.
you actually
there
believe
isn't feet.
how much?
There isn't feet. There is like
Centimeters.
a few, barely a degree of difference in
Why is
the
there no
measurements.
number? Do you not know how many
It's all
exact
here.
centimeters over a mile?
Again, it was a few arc seconds of difference. So, first station, looking at the second station.
Because there's plenty, like you'll show me videos of people, obviously you have looked at before or whatever, and pictures, but I've looked at pictures and videos of people that I watch, and they show way more vast distances.
So
Way
you've
more
shown,
vast.
so you've shown professional surveyors using equipment designed to do a job, measuring
Yeah, but
using
look,
their actual equipment.
you're coating your points with you're padding them up with all these titles like the word professional and these
because
professional
that means
surveyors and surveyors.
that means
You're
it's
just padding
literally
your
his
words.
job.
There's nothing actually to it.
Wait, no,
other
hold
than
on.
just
That means it's
by
literally
some
his
people.
job, and he knows he's trained how to do that. So he will be able to have not only the correct tools, but the knowledge and skills to determine what the shape of the Earth is.
Yeah, but there's no evidence that's saying water on Earth curves, especially not over.
Apart
1
from the
mile.
measurements I've just shown you
a
of
lake
water
isn't
over
curved.
Earth curved.
A lake isn't curved. I'm sorry, I've been.
Apart
I've
from
been
the
on it.
measurements I've just shown you of it being curved, of course.
Right, so
now, of course, there's the famous engineering example of the Venicero Narrows Bridge in New York. Now, it's a suspension bridge, and it's very important that the towers of suspension bridges are plumb and rigid, to be able to support the weight differences in as the cables change during the cold and the warm weather with expansion of metal. So it's very important that the towers are plumb. And as the engineering design for the bridge shows, the two support towers on the bridge are completely plumb. However, they are measured that the top are 3 5/8 inches further apart than the bottom, with a difference that again matches the curve of the Earth. And that's also over water, showing that completely plumb towers will diverge at the top, which is what you would expect on a curved Earth. So that's another literal measurement over water of the Earth being curved. You can't just go, no, I don't believe it. When I've shown you actual evidence, and you can look up the Venice Aeronaris Bridge stuff yourself, that's all quite deep. But it shows that the Earth and water that is level on Earth will be curved.
Right, so that's a story about a bridge. I don't believe that any bridge has any curvature accounted for in it, especially like the longest bridge in the world is someone in China.
You can read the engineering specifications if you like.
Flat. You're saying that there's a distance between the two tallest points of the bridge because the Earth's curved. Over
matches the curve of the Earth,
I bet there's not. I bet you there's not. Who's actually
you'd have to argue with the
engineering.
The engineers that built the bridge.
What, have you spoke to them?
Well, I've read their engineering specifications for the bridge, because they're all very dead now.
Oh, right. So it's just a story then. You don't know.
No, it's the engineering specifications.
You're just reading
that's
stories
not the story.
and repeating
engineering
them.
specifications
I bet you it's not.
are not
I bet
stories.
you that's not true. Go and test it, and I bet you the flat and level.
How much do you want to bet?
You wouldn't go anyway. What's this?
How much do you want to bet? And we can see if we can get someone to test it somehow.
Hey, I don't even need... We can bet on a lot of other stuff. Like, I'm just hearing what your points are.
Yeah, and I showed you literal
these
measurements.
Distances epoxy. We can.
I showed you
easily.
a literal measurement of curvature over water, and you went.
Right, I know what.
And now you're ignoring engineering specifications from engineers that built the bridge.
I'm trying to respond.
No, you went to the measurements I showed you. You went, oh, that's not right. It can't be curvature over water. Well, I don't care what your personal incredulity is. I've just shown you measurements of it.
Yeah, but even if the Earth's a globe, there's not curvature over 1 mile. That's just stupid.
Why not? Why wouldn't there be curvature over 1 mile of the Earth's a globe? So at what point, Gleason, at what point does the curvature start?
How do you explain salt flats then? How do you explain salt flats?
Well, they're level. They're not completely flat. They don't have a difference in elevation, and you can actually look at the salt flats and see that they're curved.
How are they curved?
Because they are, the elevation between one point and the other doesn't change. It follows the curve of the Earth, and there's actually pictures of mountains. There's pictures of mountains in the distance that only appear as you get close to them, and it's not like they just appear out of nowhere, but they appear top first, and as you get closer, they get bigger, because the salt flats are actually curved. It's measured as such as well.
1 point of them being higher than the other doesn't mean it's curved. The Earth is curved. At all.
Well, what does that mean then? Again, it's not elevation. It's actual staying level, but things being obscured.
Well, a salt flat, they call the salt flats because they're flat and they produce like a mirror image of the sky. You can't produce a mirror image, like a perfect mirror, on something that's curved. I've yet to see that.
The curvature is very, very small. Actually, I've shown that before.
Right, so it's either there or it's not. You can't say, oh, we can't see it, and then you say you could see it over a mile. But then when I bring up something, you say, oh, it's too small. You're just dancing around the point, really.
No, I'm not dancing around the point that they're actually
That's all anyone
measured.
does. No one ever answers direct. Like
I am answering direct. I'm literally answering your questions directly.
No,
right,
you
but
told
hold
me
on,
before
right.
to ignore.
So here's the thing. You have
the seagull, but they were actual the most valid.
We have no information about the seagull. They were irrelevant to the picture.
You
listen. They are irrelevant. We have no information about them. We do not know where they are. Well, because you're not listening to me, all right? Now here's the thing. You have just said about the salt flats. So could I see your measurements of the salt flats that show that they are perfectly flat?
Seagull debunks.
Can I see your measurements, or can I see your measurements of the salt flat that show that they are completely flat? Because I've just shown you measurements. I have just shown you measurements of water being curved over 1.38 miles, right? So now, if you're claiming the salt flats debunk
That doesn't
let
show
me
water
see.
curved at all.
It literally did. Now, can I see your
It didn't.
measurements?
It was some lasers pointing at each other. That does
There was
not
no
show
lasers.
water.
It was 2 theodolites.
Right, so it's not showing water's curve then, is it? But what I'm saying is, the salt flats produce. They're called salt flats for one because they are flat, and not even just salt flats. They say Kansas, a state in America, is.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
As flat as a pancake, and
right. Let's just quickly
That's what
talk
they say,
about
though. That's what they
quickly.
say.
Quickly.
Let me finish. You keep
That
jumping in
no.
and
Let me
eating,
just
like, all
quickly
the
go.
points
Let me just
before I get
quickly
them
talk
out.
about the Kansas thing because it's always
Oh.
funny, and you're going to slap yourself. So
No,
that's
I
a
already
joke.
know. I already know. You don't
You
even let me speak.
You already know.
I'll be
No,
fired
no,
myself.
you don't know. Here's the thing. Right, let me quickly tell you about the
just gonna say
Kansas
it's
being
not
flatter
flat.
than the pancake thing,
I
right?
heard a
Well,
story and it's
actually,
not flat.
here's the thing. The people that did that survey, it wasn't even a survey, it was an article. It's a joke article, right? And I actually have an email from the person that wrote it saying that's a satirical article talking about the fact that there isn't many mountains and stuff in Kansas, and it in no way says the earth is flat, and he finds it hilarious that flat earthers are trying to use his satirical article as evidence of anything. Do you know what satirical means?
Yeah, obviously. What article is this then? Because I've not read
The one
this
about
article.
Kansas being
I
flatter
know
than the
this is what the
pancake.
government say about
The
Kansas.
one
This isn't
no,
a
no,
joke.
the government don't say that Kansas is flatter than the pancake. It came from an article in a magazine that was satirical. Do you know what satirical means?
No, yeah, I know. I'm not saying that's
What-
100%
what is
right. I'm
satirical?
just saying they say Kansas is flatter than a pancake. It's a saying.
Yeah, because it
I'm
came
not
from a
saying
satirical
it's
article.
flatter than a pancake.
Uh,
I was bringing it up just as a
yeah,
just as what they say. They say
no,
it's
yeah,
flatter
but
than a pancake.
nobody says that. Nobody even said that until it came about in the when after this article. So here it is from Mark Fonstad. Dear FTFE, it has been relayed to me that you'll be debating a flat Earth article. Advocate, blah blah. My name is Mark Fonstad. It was my parody article, Kansas is flatter than a pancake, that sometimes is used as evidence for a flat earth advocacy position. While I myself do not engage in debates with flat earth advocates, I would not want my own views to be misused. First, there's no evidence whatsoever for a flat earth, blah, blah, blah. Second, the digital data I used to measure the topography of Kansas had sea level as its base elevation, its datum. As such, there's no information in that data describing the large area shape of the Earth at all. Another way to think of the dataset is the topography of the Earth that remains once all the large area shape of the Earth has been removed. As such, there is not one point of data in my study that says anything at all about the overall shape of the Earth. Third, the paper I published as well as the
You don't
journal
need
it's
to read all
published
this
in
out. I
was
wasn't even
devoted
going
to
into
parody.
I wasn't going
The fact
into
that paper is
Kansas,
being
you
used in a
kinda
serious way, I find simultaneously pitiable, ridiculous, and hilarious. So whenever a flat
That's
earther
not
cites
even.
that,
It doesn't even
I
matter.
love
Like
it.
I was bringing that up as one example of many things. There's loads of salt flats around the world. All I was saying is, you say Kansas is flatter than a pancake. If it's a fake article, it's fake, whatever. But it's
Yeah,
still flat
and
anyway.
flat earthers use it because
That
it's
would be
not flat.
Globers that made that article anyway. It
Yeah,
still actually is flat though. It
but-
still is flat though.
Did you
Even
hear
though
him? Did you
that's
hear
a
him that
joke, it's still
it uses the? Did you hear him about the datum that it uses? Sea level datum as its base, and the datum that sea level uses happens to be a geoid. You know, a nearly perfect sphere
That who uses?
that everybody uses. When we talk about sea level is reference to a datum, and that datum is a geoid. It's a sphere. That's what sea level means. That's the literal definition to it.
What,
It's
you mean like a
it's
gyroscope?
reference to a datum that is, you know, spherical.
That's not what I mean when I'm talking sea level. We just.
Oh, and so
mean-
you're not talking about what actually it means then? You're making up your own
I'm not a
definition.
sailor. I'm not a sailor. Why would I be talking about that? We just
Sailors
use words.
aren't the people that use datums. That's just what you use when referencing something. And when we talk about sea level, that is referencing a datum that is a spheroid. So
No,
when you
that's
say
the
sea
thing that's
level,
being-
whether you
No,
mean
no,
something else or
no.
not, you are actually referencing something that is spherical.
That's just a new term that you're using and saying.
Any
that's what
evidence
you
of
have to
it? That's
refer
the
to.
new term, or are you just changing it for your own purposes?
No, because that term probably didn't even exist before the globe was invented.
When
So
did
that-
it
you're
exist? Are you
talking
just
about a
making
piece of
stuff up now,
technology.
Gleason? You're just
Talking
making
about a
stuff
piece
up?
of technology. People were sailing the Earth long
A
before.
datum is not a piece of technology.
But I've not even mentioned one thing yet that I think is a flat Earth proof. I've literally just been.
I gave you
looking
10
for
minutes to
it.
present evidence, and you said
No,
ships don't go
we've not even
over
got
the
started.
curve.
You've not
and
presented anything. You've shown me one video that you think is true of a boat being obscured, which is like even
Yeah.
globers know that's not a real. That's not real. Like that's obviously distorted and fake. Like there's no.
well,
there's no
here's,
way.
here's
there's that
another
much curvature.
picture of the same similar thing, showing that there is ships clearly hidden by the obstruction of the horizon.
That's not
I
hidden
mean,
by obstruction. You could zoom in on those.
no, this is again at full zoom.
No, but they're further away.
Wait,
so
are you saying you
more.
could zoom in and bring back the bits that have disappeared?
You can. You can bring back the sun. This is
No, you
this is
can't.
another good proof.
If you could
Yes,
bring
you
back
can.
the sun, you could just never have nighttime. The only way you can bring back the sun, the only way you can bring back the sun is by
You
raising
don't
your
understand
elevation.
the model. You don't understand the model. Right, let's get
Wait,
something out of the way.
you're
What-
telling me I don't understand the globe model? Because I absolutely do.
No, the flat Earth model.
There isn't a flat
Flat
Earth
Earth
model.
model.
There's no such thing.
Right. Let me ask you then. What's your idea of flat Earth? Is it what's on the screen now? Is this what you genuinely think the flat Earth model is?
Well, that's the thing. You guys don't have an agreed upon definition,
No,
so
you might
I
think
just
that.
attack
You might
whatever
think that.
your
Just answer the
position is.
question.
Right? Whatever
You might
your
think
position
that.
is,
Just
I'm
answer
not
the
going to
question.
strawman you by saying what I think the
I'm
flat
not
Earth is.
strawmanning
Because
you. I'm saying what
No,
you
no,
think
I
the
said I'm
model
not.
is. It's a
Listen,
basic question.
Gleason, listen.
Yeah,
I'm
angry,
not,
bro. Just listen.
listen. I'm not going to strawman you.
Why are you
by-
getting mad? I'm asking
Just
you
listen.
what do you think
Yeah,
my model
again,
is?
you need to listen. Let me
You spoke
explain.
for like an hour.
Will you
What's
will you
my
listen
model?
so I can explain? I'm not going to strawman you by
Explained
telling you
everything
what.
and failed.
Okay,
What's the model?
again, just let me finish these sentences, please. Thank you. I'm not going to
Like
strawman
I'm
you
trying
by.
to.
I'm not going to strawman you by telling you what I think the flat Earth is. If you have a specific version of the flat
That's
Earth,
not strawmanning
then you-
me. I'm asking you a question. You can't get out of it by claiming it's a strawman. I'm just asking
It
you.
is because
what do you
I
think the
don't
model
know
is.
what the flat Earth model
I
is
can
because
answer
there
your
isn't
questions
one.
better.
So I want you to tell me what you think the flat Earth model is, and we can discuss that instead of me telling you what would for you be a straw man. So what do you think the flat
I'm not
Earth
gonna
is?
break it. Listen. I'm here to have an honest discussion. I'm not here to like bully you when you answer a question and trick you into falling into my hands. I'm asking you genuinely. What is your idea? What is your perception? What do you think I believe? I'm just asking you.
I don't know what you believe because I'm not you.
All right. You don't need to get so hostile. All I'm asking, let me finish the question. So, is what's on the screen now? Is that your general perception of what you think flat earthers believe?
I don't have a general perception
Is it kind
because
of like that? Is that what you think in your
I
head?
don't have
It
a
must be-
general perception because I've been told so many different versions.
Right. So when someone says they're a flat earther, and something will pop into your mind, and what is
I
it
think
that you
someone that
they
doesn't
believe?
understand science and doesn't think the Earth is a globe. I make no further assumptions.
Right. So based on your YouTube channel and what's on the screen now, all I can assume is that you do think that we believe the Earth is some sort of flying space pizza.
Well, that's the problem
And
with you
the
making
sun-
assumptions, isn't it? It makes an ass out of you and me. See what I did there?
Right, but I'm not trying to get into this as the debate. I'm just asking you what you think my model is before we.
I don't know.
It affects-
I mean, I don't think you have a model
affects-
because there's no
All
such
right.
thing. So why don't
So
you
this is
tell me
where the
which
problem
version of the
is.
flat Earth you think is true?
All right, just give me like another 5 minutes then, so I can speak without interruption. And
Okay,
I'll
all right.
get-
So are you going to tell me what version of the flat Earth you think is true?
Yeah,
Is that what you-
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Please go ahead. Also, if you could
Right.
provide some evidence for it as well, that would be great.
Yeah, sure. So, like I was trying to say, that's why I was asking you. I'm guessing you believe, like a lot of people believe, that what's on the screen is like the flat Earth. That's what they show you on YouTube. That's all the government propaganda, and that's official as well. That you can watch YouTube. CEO in Congress banning flat Earth videos. Anything that's censored. This is actually a #1 proof. Anything that's censored is 100% true. Like, there's nothing that I've seen that's censored that isn't true. They only censor what they don't want to be out there. And if flat Earth was so stupid, they wouldn't care if we were discussing it and making videos. But they do care, and that proves that they're liars, because liars are something to fear. That's another proof. But this one, the reason they pump out this model, and when you type in flat Earth on Google, all you'll get is the Flat Earth Society and this model. Now, no one actually believes this because space is part of the heliocentric model. Space does not exist, and space is never a part of flat Earth or what flat earthers believe. So it is stupid. If you're gonna, all the debunk videos on YouTube, including probably every single one you've made, they're all wrong because they're only debunking this fake model that no one actually believes in. Of course, this doesn't make sense. You can't have a space pizza with all these globes. Like, it doesn't make sense, and the sun being that large. And this is why globers in every single video I've seen, they might win debates, especially if they're against people that actually think this is the model. There is retarded flat earthers, 100%.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
There's less than globers though, because if you go around the street and ask any random people any question about the Earth, ask them how was it made, how was the Earth, how was the moon made, how fast does the Earth spin, what shape is the Earth, about the oblate sphere. Most of them can't answer it. They don't know. Whereas most flat earthers have actually looked into the globe. They actually had an interest in space like I did, and we're actually good at science in school and stuff. But there is obviously retarded ones that just wake up and join the fucking, they just look it up on YouTube and they do it for a joke. But this is where the problem is. It's government misinformation that's caused people that believe in the globe to think flat Earth is stupid when they don't even know there's a model, like you don't. And you do this for like a living on this channel, and you don't even know that there is an established model. And it's basically like, it's the UN logo. That's what it is. There's no Antarctica on there, because that's the exterior.
That's not a model.
No, there is a model, because when you add it all, you explain everything, how everything works, it becomes a model. So there's no model for this on the screen. Because, just let me finish. You said you weren't going to interrupt me.
Yep, sorry.
There's no model for this on the screen because this is nonsense. No one believes this. This is stupid. No one in the globe fucking cult has ever debunked the real flat Earth. And I've watched all the best debates on YouTube. You can go watch them. They do not win. No one in the globe side has ever won because there's no proof whatsoever. All you have is fake pictures, misinterpreted experiments, and then debunking the wrong model. Yeah, you can debunk this model. This is the wrong one. This is what the globe has invented to make it look stupid. Space does not exist, and therefore, if we're not in space, there's no vacuum, there's no separate, there's nothing to go out into like that. There's no need for gravity. Gravity is something that came after the ball was invented. If people actually look into the history of how the heliocentric model came about, that disproves the whole thing. It comes from the Vatican. It's all religion. The Helios, the sun god. That's what they do. They worship the sun. That's why the Catholic Church, the Pope, carries the
2,500 years ago.
Sun staff. This is what it is, and you can look it up. Walt Disney and Werner von Braun started NASA. You can't deny these things.
Walt Disney didn't start NASA. Oh goodness.
Well, he was literally like best friends with him, and he actually has documentaries you can watch where he's got rockets in his hand and he's walking around a room with toys of rockets, saying, "Oh, space is." He's basically explaining to the world at that point, because they didn't know what space is and what it looks like and what rockets are. They use Walt Disney as an actual piece to explain to people through media what they're going to do in future. They didn't even know what space was, and like most people alive during the moon landing, they didn't watch it. 90% of them heard it on the radio, and these are the same people that nowadays will tell you they've seen curvature from a plane. Like, it's retarded.
Okay, right.
And as I'm saying, like, this isn't the model. I'll tell you the model. There's no need for gravity. Like, there's no need whatsoever for that. Only in the ball. That's why it doesn't work. No, only in the ball. That's why it doesn't work at all. And there's no established theory. Secondly,
sorry, no established theory. What do you mean?
Let me finish. You're trying to jump
I just want to clarify what you mean.
My point is a lot stronger when it's finished. You're going to try and take it when it's not.
I'm going to write that down. No, did you say there's no established theory of gravity, though? Right? Yeah.
No, there's no like accepted theory that's accepted as fact. There's only theories.
Of what?
It's the theory of gravity. Everyone knows that. There's no actual established fact that gravity fully exists and we live on a ball at all.
Goodness me, you're basic.
You might believe that. You've just not looked into it deep enough.
Really? He says to the physics student.
Let me finish the point, though, because you made a big mistake before when I told you that it was something about the sun. You said if the sun could be brought back, that it would always be daytime. That's not true at all, because there again you're failing to to accurately debunk the right model. In your model, that makes sense because you believe the sun is huge, billions of times larger than the Earth and 93 million miles away. However, when you change the model, the results also change. The sun isn't that big in the real model, in the real world, and in the flat Earth model. It shrinks in size as it goes away, and then it travels around the world. So, like pilots that fly southern routes, they all know if you actually ask them what shape they think the Earth is, they'll tell you. Go on the plane, they'll say they think it's flat. Northern pilots won't.
The pilots in the chat disagree with you.
Yeah, because northern pilots that fly around the northern hemisphere.
No, the pilots from the southern hemisphere in the chat disagree with you.
No, they might do, but it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter.
Hey, why do pilots have to take the globe into account?
If they believe the Earth's a globe, it's not gonna change their mind anyway. If you look at it, I used to defend the globe, as I've said. As I've said, if you believe the Earth is a globe, it doesn't matter how many planes you fly. What you believe is going to be what you see. You're going to make excuses subconsciously and be like, "Oh, it's a globe." I used to do it. I'd be like, "Oh, look at that curve."
Why do pilots have to take the globe?
The point about the sun is important because you have to remember it's not the same scale. The sun does become smaller, and it's like looking at a light bulb in like someone else's house. It's light in their room, but it's not light where you are.
But you can still see the light, right?
You can see the light. Yeah, you can see the sun. This is what I'm saying. If you gained...
What, in the day?
Listen to this, right? Let's imagine this theoretical world, like I said before, where there's no particles in the air, there's nothing, right? It's just
oh my fucking god.
Just listen, this is like simple stuff. It's not
hilarious.
Even like that funny. It's easy to grasp. This is just cognitive dissonance. But imagine the small sun. The small sun is circling like a clock does. That's why clocks exist. The flat and round, which breaks Globers' minds because they think only spheres can be round. No, a clock is flat and round. It's a great example. And the sun and the moon is the minute and the hour hands, basically. That they go around a flat surface. So imagine the small local sun. If you were to gain elevation, thousands and thousands of feet, you could literally, with infinite zoom, like I said before, you could watch the sun travel around the whole world. It doesn't mean it would be light where you are. You could just see a light.
Yeah, you can.
That perfectly explains. What
you would still be able light. You would still be able to see the light, even if you couldn't see the sun with its angular size. You would still be able to see the point source because no matter how far away light is,
I just said
as long as there is one photon, maybe two photons reaching your eyes, you can detect it. So no matter how far away the sun was, you would always be able to see it, right? So let me ask you some questions about the waffle.
No, you wouldn't. What are you talking? You're just skipping over that. That's a nonsense point.
No, it's a fact, and I've actually got evidence of that, of the fact that even if angular size is too small to see, you can still see where the point is source. So you say anyway, right? Let me go over your nonsense because it's hilarious. You said there's no except.
Point is a good one to debate. You're saying you could see the sun.
Yeah, you
on a flat Earth.
How? You would be able to see. Right? How high up is the sun?
No, you would not. That's so retarded.
Let me ask you a question then. How high up is the sun?
You what?
How high up is the sun?
I don't know exactly. There is predictions.
Give me a prediction. The generally accepted flat Earth answer on what is generally the FE, the AE model, is about 3,000 miles up. Would you agree with that?
3,000 miles. Whatever, just use it. This. Don't get hung up on this because...
How big is the sun?
I don't know how big the sun is. This is all within flat Earth. This is all proof, though. We don't have.
I mean, I just want to say to start off, I do want to say that was a lovely no true Scotsman fallacy about the flat Earth you came up with. The fact is, there is no accepted.
Which one?
The entire thing you said about flat Earth, about only this model that I think is the true flat Earth model.
No. That's what all flat Earthers believe. This proves.
No, they don't. No, they don't. Not all flat Earthers believe that. Not all flat Earthers believe that. You are wrong.
Yeah,
I've had many flat Earthers that have many different beliefs, including some flat Earthers that think the sun goes from one side to the other like it's a fucking Pac-Man game. There is many different versions of the flat Earth, and the fact that you have just said that only my model is the correct one is a no true Scotsman fallacy. So what I did was I made some. Right, here we go. Let me talk.
I never said that.
Gleason, shh. There we go.
So the video, I find where I said only my model is true. Rewind
You
the video
said
and
you
find
said
where
that's
it's
what
at.
all flat earthers believe, that this is the correct one.
I didn't even give you a model to say this is the correct
You
one. I
said the
told you this
UN
on the
logo
screen.
and called it a model.
Listen, I said this on the screen.
You said the UN logo and called it a model, which was fucking dumb.
Well, it's
Right.
the map. It's the map.
Yeah, and we can talk
This
about
is the
that.
classic globe-tard.
We
like,
can talk
changing
about
the
that.
subject.
Now let me go through
He's
all your
changing the
points,
subject.
right?
Oh my
First
God.
off, right, if
Oh, here we
the
go.
sun is small and local, it will never ever set. I did simulations simply based on the Earth being flat with the sun being about
What is this
3,000 miles
nonsense?
up.
Oh my God.
Will you
This is
shut up
terrible.
and listen like a good boy? There we go.
This is terrible. What is that?
Yeah,
That's not
so-
even the flat Earth map. That's an
Again,
Mercator project.
if you want to listen, I made only
Mercator
the assumption. Listen, I made only the assumption that the Earth was flat. No other assumptions about the order that it's set out. Only that it is flat and the sun is about 3,000 miles up. Then I created 4 cameras. One camera looking at the sun, one camera showing the other camera looking straight up, one camera from above, and one camera from the side. And I tracked the sun throughout an entire day moving across the entire Earth. Now it doesn't matter which model because it's only based on the Earth being flat and nothing else. And throughout the entire day, according to perspective and reality, which is what this is based on, the sun would always be in visible sight. And it would absolutely shrink in angular size. As you can see on the top right there, between here and here, it's got smaller. It has shrunk in angular size. And then
That's
as it
not
comes
how the
back,
sun
I'm
travels.
still talking. As it comes back, it would
wrong.
grow in, I'm still talking, it would grow
Yeah, it's
in
wrong.
angular size. Now that
Carry on,
point,
but this is wrong.
that point about it growing in angular size is very important, Gleason, because the sun does not change in angular size. The sun stays the same size in the sky throughout the entire day. If you use a solar filter to remove the glare, you can clearly see this.
doesn't.
It absolutely does. It absolutely
It doesn't.
does. It
It
absolutely
doesn't.
does.
I've
Let me show
seen the
you
videos that you believe they're not accurate. There's
Let
videos
me
that
show
now
you.
show with better technology that the sun does decrease
And
in
what
size.
is
There's
this
only
better technology?
There's only one picture online that shows the sun as the same size throughout the day in like
What-
in
Well,
the shape of
I've
an
got
eight,
several
that's
videos,
eight.
but which bit of technology are you talking about?
Let me finish my point anyway about the
Yeah,
sun
yeah.
before.
Which bit of technology are you talking about?
Bro, you're literally jumping on like
Which bit of
words
technology?
and,
You
like,
just said it.
terms.
You
You've
just
not
said it.
debunked
Which bit of
anything.
technology are you talking about?
You'll sit and let this debate go like this the whole way because
Which
you don't
bit
even
of
wanna
tech?
get
You
into
just brought
anything
up this bit of
else.
technology.
Since you're willing
Which
to
bit of
learn.
technology are you talking about?
We have better zooms now. We have better zooms.
Better
I've
zooms
seen
than
videos
what?
where the sun is brought back, and you can bring the sun back by gaining elevation.
No, you can never. Oh, yeah, gaining the elevation, which matches a globe prediction, not a flat
It
prediction.
doesn't actually. It doesn't.
It 100% matches the globe and not a flat.
No,
You've
it
just
doesn't.
shown your complete ignorance of physics.
No, it doesn't, bro.
It absolutely
Honestly,
does. Basic
on a globe-
geometry.
No,
Basic
no.
geometry.
On
No
a
reason on a
globe-
flat Earth. No reason on a flat
Oh
Earth
my
why raising
God, bro.
elevation.
I know about
no
the
reason
globe.
on
I
a
only know
flat
it's
Earth why
not
raising
easy.
elevation would allow you to see further, but it makes sense
like
on the
a
globe.
robot. You just.
But
repeating
anyway,
shit, like,
let's
you're
have a
not
look
listening.
at if the sun
Oh my
changes
God, bro! You're
angular
just
size.
screaming, demanding that I watch your videos. None
As
of
this-
this rhetoric gets debunked all the time. This guy's retarded.
He's actually very smart. This is the wrong
He's
video.
not.
but
He's lost all the debates I've seen.
He's never lost a
And
debate.
again,
as far as
he
I've
debunks
seen.
the wrong model. He's just spent his whole
He
life
doesn't.
doing the wrong.
He just debunks
You've all
flat.
been
That's
debunking
it.
the wrong model.
All he does
Like
is
I said
debunk flat.
before,
That's all he
when you
debunks.
straw manning me, I never said that my model is the only model. I said the UN logo is basically the accurate map, and it becomes a model when you actually apply the seasons and how everything works to
Is
it.
that the right one?
You can't debunk that. You're just picking my words out before you've let
Yeah,
me
no,
finish.
I
And anyone
actually
can
can
see this
we
whole
don't
debate,
just
I'll
by
let you
playing.
speak and you've
Anyway, we're going through each of the points that
Doing
you
it now.
made. We're
Doing
going
it
through.
now.
We're going through each of the points that you made. All right. One of the points you made was that you can see the sun for the entire day, and you can see it as it goes away from you and changes angular size, which it
Didn't
would
say you could
absolutely
see the
have.
sun all
It would
day
absolutely
from the
have to
ground.
do. You said it shrinks, right? It would absolutely have to do if
It
the
does.
Earth was flat,
It does.
right? But here is evidence that it does not. He took a picture of the sun throughout the day, right, with a solar filter to remove the glare, and for every picture that he took, the angular size of the sun was exactly the same. It did not change in the sky, as it would absolutely have to do if the Earth was flat.
No.
So, as you can see, it goes throughout the day. This is the start. It goes from midday. It goes through all the way up to night.
Oh.
Right, throughout the entire day. And here we have a compilation of the pictures he took throughout the entire day, showing that the sun, throughout the entire day, does not change in angular size. It stays the exact same angular size, which debunks a small and local sun. This isn't the only observation like this. There are many more that show with solar filters throughout the day, the size of the sun in the sky does not change, which was a pinnacle of your nonsense that you just spouted, that the sun shrinks as it goes away from you. It does not. You use a solar filter, and any camera in the world, if you have a solar filter on it to remove the glare, you will see that the sun does not change in angular size.
This doesn't debunk flat Earth at all.
It debunks a small and local sun.
It doesn't.
I just did it.
It doesn't.
You can say nutter all you want. You can say nutter all you want, but I just
you don't let me
debunked
speak
you.
after that. That's why you only get to hear that part.
But again, you can say nutter all you want. I've just debunked a small and local sun.
The perspective of one small human in one small area on the Earth, you have to remember with the Earth being flat, it's a lot more vast than you imagine it on a globe, because you think of a globe like something you can come back around on.
What the fuck?
No, when people think of a globe, right, they think the part they're stood on, that's obviously a smaller surface area than a flat Earth. Because when you stood on the flat... Bro, you're just laughing and not listening because you're angry.
What you are saying is some of the most incredibly idiotic shit I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response have you been anywhere close to resembling a rational thought. All 700 people watching this live stream are now dumber for having listened to what you have said. I award you 0 points, and may the spaghetti monster have mercy on your soul.
Yeah, luckily we can rewind these videos though, and you can see every single thing I've said has actually been logical. And actually the people in the comments have been reading them. The things they've said are actually all easily debunkable. As I said, it's an echo chamber.
Anyway, carry on about how the video I just showed. Carry on about how the video I just showed doesn't show the sun not changing in angular size.
This is why you believe in the globe, because you're too...
I don't have a belief, I have evidence.
You do.
You sound triggered. Is there something wrong?
The globe is a theory.
It's not a theory. The globe is not a theory.
Because I've probably been into the globe longer than you, and I know for a fact.
Into the globe longer than you, of course, because that's a thing.
It is a thing. It's a cult.
It's not a cult. Cults are aren't willing to change their minds.
Do you know when the globe was invented?
Well, they knew it was a globe at least 2,500 years ago.
When did they start teaching it in Western societies?
Well, they started teaching it about 2,500 years ago.
No, in Western societies, when did they start? In England and America?
I'd say the Greek is a Western society.
I'm talking about England and America then. When did they start teaching it?
Several hundred years ago, when schools started to become a thing.
No, that's not true. So you don't even know.
Yes, it is.
Everything you know.
Schools in England have never taught the Earth is flat.
It's a fact. You can look it up. They only started teaching that the Earth is a globe in America in the 1920s. There's people.
No, they did not.
Now.
That is nonsense. Are you saying that in the 1920s? Are you saying? Wait, let me clarify. Are you saying that before the 1920s? Let me clarify what you are saying. Let me clarify what you are saying, Mr. Gleason. Let me clarify what you are saying, Mr. Gleason. Are you claiming that schools in? I want to clarify what you are saying. Are you claiming that schools in America before 1920 taught the Earth was flat?
Some did, yeah. That's a fact. You don't know.
Can I please have evidence that suggests that? Apart from the city of Zion, of course, that was a city full of
literally
idiots.
videos of people that are over 100 years old saying that they were taught the Earth is flat in school.
Present one.
Okay. I'll have a look for one right now. I'll send you the link.
Oh my god, did you seriously just say that before 1920 they didn't teach the globe was
only...
schools?
Hey, that's not a far-fetched. If you knew, the globe was only brought around in like the 1860s.
No, it wasn't.
That's how far back your cult goes. No, they told you that it was invented thousands of years ago. You don't even realise none of those
sailors have been using sextants for hundreds and hundreds of years, which are designed on a globe.
All the Mayans, all the Incas, all the ancients were all flat earthers.
Yeah, where are they now? Where are they now? Where are they now?
What do you mean, where are they now? We can't do anything they can do. It literally proves the Earth
We
is
can't do
flat.
anything they can do. What,
can't
die of
replicate
influenza when the
anything.
Spanish invade? Yeah, I don't think we can do that because we've got vaccines.
Oh my god, what? We can't what?
Die of influenza when the Spanish invade.
Do you know where the ancients are now?
Yeah, dead.
No, we're still here. You don't. We're still alive. Humans are still here. They clearly didn't mess up that bad if the species still exists, did they?
Yeah, where's
What
the
you
Incans
believe
and the
about
where's
the
the
ancients
Incans
were
and the
the same
Mayans
people
and the
that
ancient
invented the world.
Egyptians? Those
Hey,
civilizations
if you want to
don't
talk over
exist.
me, you're not going to learn anything. If you want to just reiterate your
Learn.
beliefs to a screen,
I'm waiting
do
for
that
your
without
evidence
me.
of people saying they
You
were
could do
taught
that
the Earth
without
was
me.
flat. I'm waiting for you to show your evidence of people that taught the Earth was
Bro,
flat.
you've not let me speak like at any point to get. to
I've
the
given you
point
plenty of opportunity to speak.
No, but you've either not responded directly to the point I've made, or you've told me to ignore something, or you've told me that, oh, let's change the subject and speak about fucking datums or something.
Yeah,
the
because you
thing I
kept
was
saying
pointing
sea
out about the
level.
model is the most important thing. If you've not
Yeah, but you
been
haven't presented a
debunking-
model. You said the A map. That's not a model.
I've already explained to you. That is the map, yes, but when you apply everything together, there is a working model. There's always been a working model.
Okay, please
There's never
explain
been any
eclipses.
science. There's never been
where,
any science.
Please
that's come
explain
out in the world
eclipses where
that says
the
Earth is a
moon
globe.
has a shadow on it in your model.
What are you saying?
In your model, please explain eclipses where the moon has a circular shadow on it.
Right, explain a selenilian eclipse where the sun and the moon are both in the sky at the same time.
The
There's a
refraction
shadow.
of light through the atmosphere, that's quite easily explained.
No, but you can't prove that.
Wait,
That's a theory. That's a theory.
Wait, we can prove it because we know how refraction
You
works.
can't.
I like how you
All
avoided my
theories
question.
work
I like how you
directly,
avoided my
not
question
in the
by
real world.
asking another question. Typical flat earther can't answer a
Bro,
question,
you've not
just
answered
runs
anything.
away
You
and
can't
tries
even
to
tell-
ask
you wouldn't
another one.
even tell me
So
what
let me
model
ask
you
you
thought
again.
was.
Let me ask you again.
You've not got the
Please
better of me at any
explain.
point in this
Please
debate.
explain
You
the
can scroll
eclipses of
back.
the
You're
moon
just
where you see a
talking.
circular shadow on the moon. Please explain that on your model because my model explains it.
It might explain it theoretically, but there's no proof that the Earth is causing the shadow. At all.
Yeah, there
I'm pretty
absolutely
sure
is.
when you work
But,
out the
but
actual
anyway,
sizes in the globe model,
whether
none
you
of it
believe
makes
the
sense.
explanation or not is irrelevant. My model explains it. Please give me
Also,
the
I don't
explanation.
think you can actually
Please
get a
give me the
sphere
explanation
shadow on
of
another
your
sphere.
model. Please give me the explanation of your model as to how we have eclipses with a circular shadow on the moon. Please go ahead. Over to you.
Bro, you're just asking me whatever you want to ask me.
Yeah, no.
denying
You said
everything
your
I've
model
said.
explains it all. So I'm asking you to give me your model's explanation of how we have eclipses with circular shadows on the moon. Go ahead.
You can't have a circular shadow on another sphere from another sphere. It doesn't make sense.
That's
in the
wrong.
world,
Absolutely
so-
can. Again, I'm
Even
asking
if
you.
I
I'm asking
couldn't-
you for your model's explanation, not your misunderstanding and strawmans of my model. So, on your model, how do you
There's
explain
plenty
the
of other
circular
theories
shadow on
for
the
why
moon during an
eclipses
eclipse?
happen.
Please
There's
go ahead and
plenty of
explain.
Plenty of
700,
theories for
700
why
people,
eclipses happen.
700 people watching. So please explain on your model because you said my model explains everything when you put it all together. So please explain on your model circular shadow on the moon during eclipse.
I didn't say it explains everything.
Well, then it's not
I'm
a
just
model.
saying it is a model.
No, it's not. It
Not
can't
everything
explain
has to
something.
be
It can't
explained.
explain.
Not
That's what
everything has
models
to be
do.
instantly
Models
explained.
are
That's why your
cohesive
model is wrong.
explanations of everything. My model explains everything that happens.
Just let me speak for 30 seconds and I'll get.
Yeah,
the
okay.
point
So
across.
as long as you can see that you don't actually have a model, because your model can't explain a simple
I'll explain to you
observation.
what a model is. I'll explain to you what a model is.
You're going to explain to me what a scientific model is. Please go ahead. I can't wait.
No, a model of the Earth. So
No, we're talking about
You're-
scientific models here. So
this is
please
why the
explain
globe.
what a scientific
This is why
model
the
is.
globe fails. Just let me speak. You can't help yourself.
Yeah,
Let me
you
speak.
said you're gonna explain to us what a scientific model is,
I'll
right?
explain. You're not going to hear anything if you don't be quiet. for
Yeah,
the
okay.
next
So
minute
go
or-
ahead. Please explain what a scientific model is. Over to you.
Bro, just close your mouth.
Yeah, go on. Go ahead. Over to you.
So, what Globers expect, this is why they always think, and you always think, that you've won the debate somehow, because you can say, oh, how do you explain this? How do you explain that? I've got an answer for this, I've got an answer for that.
Uh-huh.
Not all of those answers are actually applicable to real life. They're all theoretical, such as everything to do with gravity. You don't
Gravity's
need to
not
jump in
theoretical.
yet. Don't jump in. What I'm saying, this is all based on fact. I've looked into it longer than you. You come to the same conclusion as me.
I mean, everything you've said so far is wrong, but please go ahead.
Just let me finish.
Yeah. So,
So,
sorry, you were going to explain to us
even-
what a model is. So yeah, go ahead.
So your model you're saying, oh, all this stuff, right? We can predict things, we can explain everything based on the globe. This all works. This all matches the model.
Which is
It
what a model
actually
is, yeah.
doesn't, and most of the things that you use to predict are based on the Earth being flat. You've just been
Incorrect,
told
100%.
otherwise. And like we still use the Mayans to predict the lunar cycle.
No, we do not.
And that's all based on a flat Earth.
No, we do not. That's wrong.
We can't replicate that. We can't replicate anything that the ancients did,
Our
and
model can replicate it all. I've got a model on my computer of a simulation
but listen,
based
this
on
is
the model
where it's
that
all
explains
wrong.
everything.
See, look at the solar system even on the screen.
But anyway,
now.
yeah, that's not real. I created that just to look cool. So anyway, you said you were going to explain to us what a scientific model is. So please do.
I'm still underway. You just can't help.
But you haven't started yet. You've been talking for 2 minutes and didn't say anything about a scientific model.
I'm getting to it because you've not let me explain anything this whole time. So
Yeah,
as you
I
can
just
see,
wanted to
this
hear
solar
explain what a
system on the
scientific model is.
screen, even that solar system is flat. So
Yeah,
everything
I made
that's
it like that.
Yeah, so you can have a working model of the globe.
That's not a
even if
working
the Earth
model.
is
It's just a
flat.
cool. It's not a working model.
Listen to this. Listen to this.
That's not
If
a
the
working
Earth
model
is
of
flat-
anything.
I know it's not. It's just fucking animation you've made. Listen. If
Cool,
the
isn't it?
Earth is flat, let's just say I'm 100% right. If I'm right here, you can still have a working model of the globe. So by you saying that you have a working model of the globe, that doesn't prove
No, you can't.
anything.
That's kind of the opposite of what it is.
No, listen. If the Earth is flat and it has a small local sun and it has the same size moon, in the true model, I don't know if you've even seen what we actually believe, what everyone believed before it was hijacked by a cult. Because no one ever thought the Earth was a globe, by the way. It's only the past like 4 or 5 generations.
Incorrect, 100%.
No. You can look at all the documents. No ancients ever depicted globes or space.
Ancients
anything
were
like
way
that.
more than 4 or 5 generations ago.
Yeah, I know, but not even ancient people believed in globes. I'm saying everyone before like the 1850s believed in flat Earth.
Apart from all the
Everyone.
sailors, of course, for the
Everyone.
past like 500, 600 years.
All the who?
Sailors.
No, they're mostly still flat earthers now.
No, you can't be a
rely-
sailor and be a flat earther because the
They
tools
rely
you
on
use.
flat Earth. That's
But
one of the
no,
best
100%
flat Earth
wrong.
points.
100% wrong.
How did sailors? Okay then. Let's
Sextants
debunk it.
require the
Let's
Earth to
debunk
be a
it.
globe.
Actually, you've just reminded me. I already got you on this on private messenger. You couldn't answer me.
No, you didn't.
How did people sail the Earth? No, listen, people have been around, right, since the dawn of time. We don't know how old the Earth is. You'll have a
No,
belief.
anyway,
I've got a
before you
belief.
get onto that, I'm waiting for
No.
what
Let
is
me
a
finish the
scientific
point.
model.
You can't just jump off every time I try and
Yeah,
make something that
you've
you're
changed the
threatened by.
subject. Let's stick to your explanation of what a scientific model is first, please.
I'm not here to give you a.
You told me you were going to
description of a
tell me.
scientific model. I'm telling you.
You
what the
told
flat
me
Earth
you were
model
going to
is.
tell me what a scientific model is. That was your word.
No, I didn't.
You said,
I'll
"Let
tell
me
you what the
explain to
flat
you what
Earth
a model
model
is."
The model, the flat Earth model, not.
But there
not telling
isn't
you
a
what
model with the flat Earth. If there was a model of the flat Earth, you would be able to tell me how there is a circular shadow on the moon during an eclipse. A model would explain that.
There is an answer for that.
Go
I
on
told
then.
you. All this is off the top of my head. I didn't prepare for this debate, but I do know that. And
What
just because I
is
can't
the
give it you on
reason?
the
What is
fly-
the reason
just because I
for
can't
a
give it you on the
circular
fly
shadow
doesn't
on the
mean
moon
it's
during
not-
an
it's not
eclipse?
There's loads of theories. Ancient people actually believe.
No.
there's bodies
An
in the sky,
explanation
there's
that your
lots of
model
stuff.
gives, please.
I'm not.
That we can make
listen, I never
predictions
claimed-
with.
I never claimed. You're trying to defeat me on something that.
So
I've
you
not
don't
even
have a
claimed,
model
so
then?
It's an invalid debunk. I've not said to you that I know 100% why eclipses happen. I've never
Well,
said that.
you said you've got a model.
I'm
A
not
model would
coming here.
explain that. So you don't have a model.
Listen, bro, I'm not coming here saying I have the answers to everything in the universe.
No, but you
I'm-
did say you have a model.
There is a flat Earth model, and it does explain what you're asking me. All I'm
No,
saying is I
it
can't
does
give
not.
you
There
a
is
good
no
enough
reason
answer
on the
right
flat
now.
Earth you would have a
There
circular
is.
shadow
You
on the
wouldn't
moon
know.
during an
You wouldn't
eclipse.
You wouldn't
No
know. There's
reason at
plenty
all.
of reasons.
Right, anyway, so
You're just
you
joking.
say the UN
Yeah,
logo
anyway.
is the correct map, right? Are you saying that that is a 100% accurate map?
It's pretty much the map, I'd say.
Pretty much, or is it the map? Is it an accurate map?
It doesn't matter. You can't look. This is a whole failed argument because you're sat there dictating to me.
So is it
what
a
is true and what's
accurate
not.
map?
This
Yes
isn't
or
even
no?
a debate. You're dictating things that you believe.
Is this an accurate map? Because you have
Just
claimed that this is your
dictating.
model, right?
You don't have a map of the globe. You use a fake
Yes, I do.
projection. No, you don't.
No, I have-
You don't
I
even
have-
know how big any country
Any
is.
globe.
You don't know the size of any
actually,
country.
cartographers have measured it, and it matches the globe.
What globe have you seen that is the accurate shows the accurate size of countries? They're
The
all
one that
fake
uses the
because of
datum that we
projection
use.
base. What?
The one that uses the datums that we use for like most things. But anyway, we're talking about, you said that this was the model, right? You said the UN logo, which is the azimuthal equidistant projection map based on Alexander Gleason's map. You say this is the correct map, right?
Most likely, it's pretty much like that.
Well,
Yeah, the Gleason.
Australia isn't 3 times as long as it is wide for a start. Australia it also isn't 5 times the size
But
of
that's
Canada.
a stretched out picture. That's a stretched out image of a Mercator map. That's a fake map.
No, it's not a Mercator map. This is the azimuthal equidistant projection map that the UN uses.
That's literally a stretched. You can tell by the graphics on the screen that those countries have been stretched out.
Because that's what happens on this map.
That's a dodgy picture.
This
That's
is
obviously
the
not a real
AE map.
Image of
This
flat Earth, is it? It's a
because there is
model,
no
it's a
satellite
picture.
images of flat Earth, but this is what the UN use.
There is.
This is
Every image of Earth is flat Earth image. There's millions of them. There's no images of a globe. Well, there's images.
Apart from all
no
the images of a globe. Anyway, you said that the UN
No
logo is correct, right?
No photographs. Images,
You said
yeah,
that
millions.
you said the UN logo is correct, right?
It probably is. Yeah, it's more accurate.
This
than globe,
is
but-
the map from the UN logo, the exact one.
Yeah, it's the same as the WHO logo. I was just making a point that they used the flat Earth map as their logo.
Because you can see all the countries, which you can't do on a globe.
Right, I know, but a lot of things still use a globe for the logo.
No, but you said that your
No.
Your
The
model.
flat
You
Earth-
said
the
your
UN
words were
map
my
isn't a
model is
globe.
the UN
The UN map
logo.
is not a globe.
Your
The UN map
words.
is not a globe.
Your words were my model is the UN logo. Those were your words.
I never said my model is the UN logo.
Those were your exact words.
That wasn't my exact words. I said it's like the UN logo, the map. That's what the map is like.
Yeah, and this
the
is the
model.
map from the UN logo. So is this your model?
It looks similar. That's not the picture that I usually would look at. No,
It's the exact same. It's the exact map that is on the UN logo.
Well, whatever then. It's probably more accurate than a globe.
Right, so again, Australia isn't 3 times as long as it is wide, and it isn't 5 times the size of Canada. But more importantly, this came from Alexander
You
Gleason.
don't know that.
I do, 100%.
You don't.
Yeah, they've
All
been
your
measured.
information is coming from the same people that are lying about the globe. None of your information is
Again, people
valid at all.
drive across these things all the time with odometers and stuff. We know the size of countries, right? But more importantly, where did this come from? This came from Alexander Gleason, right? Who he called it the Gleason Map of the world, and it was an accurate timepiece because that's what it can be used for. But in the patent for this that he created, he clearly states how this map is a distortion of the globe. It is based on the globe Earth, and what they do is, as the meridian lines go outwards, they become more stretched. The closer to the ice ring, as it would be on this, the more the east to west is stretched out. Because that's the only way you can display a 3-dimensional image on a 2-dimensional page. And he explains in great detail how they made this from a distortion of the globe. So your model, because that was your words, the UN map is my model, those were your exact words. So your model is based on a distortion of the globe. Those were your exact words, and we can always play it back at another time, but those were your exact words. The UN logo is my model, but that means that your model is based on the distortion of a globe according to the person that came up with it.
That's not actually true. I've looked into that. Alexander Gleason, when you look it up, he actually had a book called "Is the Earth a Globe?" and he said no. He doesn't believe the Earth is a globe.
Doesn't
so
matter.
why-
Doesn't matter if he was a flat earther or
why
not.
would he make a
In
model?
his patent that he presented to the
It
US
doesn't say
Patent
that.
Office,
It doesn't say that.
it 100% does. It 100%. I can show you the patent where it says
Yeah,
it's distorted from that of
a
a globe.
computer website, a website patent, like a Google patent, not an actual written patent by him. There's no evidence that he said that.
That is what he said.
Yeah,
that
of
was
course,
what was
add
on the
that. They
patent.
would add
If
that
you want to
themselves
claim
to the-
fake, that's up to you. That's your personal incredulity, and that's kind of your problem for being a dumbass.
Well, no, because if you understand my point, if I'm right and the Earth is flat,
Your
then
point is not.
they have- they have lied about the globe, and therefore these things would be fake. So for me to claim things are fake,
Yeah, well, again, I don't care about your
from my point
personal
of view.
fragility or lack of trust.
You just believe everything you're told. You just believe everything.
No, I've
It
looked
takes
into
more
these
to
things.
actually
Plus, you know, there's the fact that the
criticize what
AE
you
map
believe because you start
is 100%
jerking around
wrong.
in your seat whenever
And-
you get questioned on anything, like you did
So-
about that seagull, which
So
debunked you.
again, the seagull we have no information about and doesn't debunk anything. It was
Yeah, but you
completely
don't have any
non-sequitur.
information about anything else, and then you just.
I
skip
gave
past
you all
that,
the information about everything else. Right. Anyway, back to your model, because you did say
This map shows all flight plans work perfectly. No globe
incorrect,
can accurately
because flight
produce
plans are
flight
planned
plans.
using a sphere. When you take into account the Haversine
They're not.
formula that all pilots plan their routes on.
They're not.
Anyway,
The sphere is based on the flat Earth. They've taken the
no,
model.
again,
This
it's
map you're
wrong.
seeing-
It's wrong. Anyway,
just
let
listen,
me ask.
listen.
No,
No,
I haven't
go
finished yet.
every
I haven't
time.
finished. I haven't finished, Gleason.
Bro,
Right.
I'm just going to leave this chat if you're not going to let me speak.
Right. If you want to rage quit, that's fine. That's up to you.
you
That's
tried to
completely
get
your
me
choice.
on this for like a week. And
Yeah,
you've not let
because
me
you
make
are
any points.
really
and I've
bad.
not even
Right,
made like
so-
2 points about the flat
I've
Earth,
given
and
you
don't
plenty
even
of time
know.
to make points.
No, but you've literally spoke over me, and every single time we can replay this whole thing.
Yeah, and
I try
every time
speak-
that I try to give you an explanation to a
I
question,
get to the
you
point,
talk
I
over
get
me.
to the point,
Right.
and then you
So
speak
anyway,
over
we
me.
are going
Doing it
back to
now.
your model,
Doing it
Gleason.
now. This
You
is
can
the
even
third
you
time
can
I'll
either
make
listen
more
or you can
video.
leave. It's your choice.
Bro, I'm not listening to you when you're not letting me
You can
speak.
either listen or you can leave. It's your choice.
Everything you've
Because I have
presented is
questions
like
about
some
your
YouTube
model.
Video
I
and a
have
fake
questions
picture.
about your model.
You don't know my model. You said that.
You
yourself.
told me this was your model.
I didn't say it was my model. I said.
Yes, you did.
The
Those were
map
your
is
words.
Like the UN logo. The map is like
Which
the UN
is
logo.
what this
I'm not
is.
saying all these countries are exactly this size. It's
But this
probably
is the
roughly
map
like
of the
this.
UN logo. But right, do you agree that
But
there
it's
is an
roughly like that. I'm not saying it's
Do you
exactly
agree there is a
that.
ice ring around the edge in your model?
Probably, yeah.
Right.
There is on this as well.
Then please
There is on this
explain.
map.
Yes, because map is your model.
The
according to you,
Gleason's
but-
map in
But
like
please,
the 1860s.
please explain. This is the
which is
Gleason's
new
map.
map of the world.
This is the Gleason's map. So please explain.
Yeah.
Please explain the Van der Globe race.
It works perfectly.
Please explain the Van der Globe race.
The what?
The Van der Globe race.
I've not heard of that.
So it's a race that once every 3 years.
The sailing.
Yeah. So let me
I don't know
explain.
much about it. I've
Okay.
already seen this though, and they sail in like circles. They don't sail.
So
around the globe
again,
now.
if you let me explain, that would be great. So they sail from France.
I don't trust
down-
your ability to judge it.
Again,
Information that you've read, though.
incredible how the beginning of your sentence there interrupted the middle of mine. But anyway, so
For the first time.
as the Van der Globe race starts in France and heads south until it reaches a point just north of the South Pole, and then they go around the South Pole, and this is tracked via GPS and all mapped out and roted
They
out.
really don't.
Well, they
No
absolutely
one's
do.
been around the South Pole. Bro.
Apart
You're
from
just
these
reading
people that
shit.
do this
You're reading
race-
shit and you believe it. You've
Apart
not
from the
been-
people that do this
you've not
race
seen any
every
studies, you're
3
just believing
years.
shit.
Again,
Bro, I'm actually presenting things that you can't debunk, and you're just believing.
you haven't
shit.
presented anything, but you've the only way that you can debunk the Van der Globe race is by saying it's fake. That's not debunking. That's you
No,
being
you can
an
even
idiot.
look at the actual paths that they went on.
Yes,
They
we
didn't
can,
go
and it shows that they
around
go
South
around
Pole.
Antarctica, right? Now, if
Around Antarctica, do you know how big it is? They did
yes,
not go around
they
Antarctica.
travel
No
about
one has
14.
sailed around
They travel
Antarctica.
14 to
One
16,000 nautical miles when they go around Antarctica,
What?
right? They travel 14 to 16,000 nautical miles when they go around Antarctica, depending on how close and far away they get it and
Course
how much
they
they have to
did.
attack, right?
Course
However, if the Earth was flat and had an ice ring like your model shows, they would
whole
have to
picture
travel.
show as well.
They would have to travel at least 42,000 miles to circumnavigate the entire ice wall, but they do not.
so, right,
They do
easily
not.
debunked.
Right, I'm still talking.
Easily debunked.
I'm still
Easily
talking.
debunked.
I'm still talking. They do not.
It's wrong though.
They do not. They travel between 14 and 16,000 nautical miles as they circumnavigate Antarctica. And this is all GPS mapped. And here's the thing. Anybody with a boat can enter this race. It's not limited. Anybody can do this and go and get it done and map out the route themselves. So you can't just say it's fake and it's wrong. You have to explain why, when they circumnavigate the entirety of Antarctica, they only travel a maximum of 16,000 nautical miles.
So the only thing there that's telling you that they circle the entirety of Antarctica is that figure of nautical miles, 16,000 nautical miles.
Mm-hmm.
You're assuming because you've read that they've circled the continent. That doesn't mean that
they've got
actually
the map
circled
route
the
of that.
continent.
They've got the
They've
route
probably
mapped out.
travelled around the exterior, around the coastline of Antarctica. They could do that.
Which would still
It's
be
a race,
42,000
it's a
miles
preset
at least,
distance,
not
it's a preset
16,000.
distance. It's a race. It doesn't mean that they actually circled the continent. They've travelled a
They
certain
do
set
that.
distance.
No, again, you're just saying that they're lying. They do, and they map it out and have it tracked via GPS.
What, and do they record on camera them circling the entire continent of Antarctica?
A lot of them do,
No.
yes.
I highly doubt there's footage of someone circling.
I don't care if you
Antarctica.
highly doubt it. You would, the only way that you can
Have you got
disprove
that?
that
Have you
is
got
by
that?
doing the race yourself.
Have you got that? Have you got that?
The only way you can disprove it is by doing the
Have you got
race
that
yourself.
footage? Have you got that
I don't
footage?
have it. I don't have it personally, no. But you can find a lot of it
Right,
yourself
so
online.
So do you think that footage exists?
Probably yes.
Probably. So for me to say I doubt it and you to say probably, I'm the one in
Well,
the wrong. It's
again,
the same thing.
The point is that it is GPS
Don't know.
tracked. The
You don't
entire
know.
thing is GPS tracked and mapped out.
It's
And
on a
the
globe.
sailors.
So if they go around a certain
Yes,
area, it's going to
that's
come
the
up
point.
with
It is
globe
based
map.
on a globe, and they get to where they want to go, and they go around the entirety of Antarctica.
A globe is based on a flat Earth.
No, it's
like
not.
It's made.
If a globe
It
was
is,
based
it's
on a
made
flat Earth,
from
they would
that.
have to travel 42,000 miles, not 16,000 miles.
No, yeah, but them sailors aren't retarded. They're not just going to travel like 10 times the distance of the race. They're all just doing the race.
Yeah, but they
go in a
circumnavigate
certain path,
Antarctica, and they are
No,
not
no, no.
lying.
No. The point that you're taking, they probably didn't even circle Antarctica. They probably circled nearby.
So you're saying they're
islands.
lying then?
No, they're not lying. You've probably not even looked that deep into it. You
Yeah,
just
no,
believe
I've
in
looked
shit.
very much into
Everyone
it, and
thinks
they
that some
circle
guy walked
Antarctica.
around Antarctica. Everyone believes that a man walked across Antarctica. That's not even
Recently,
true. He walked like-
two girls walked across the entire thing, actually.
No, when you look into it, they don't. They only walk into basically the coast and then
No,
around
they
a
went
little
around-
bit in
they
a
went
straight
across the
line and
whole
then
thing.
back. No one has gone even that far into Antarctica. That's why all the bases are on the coast. If you go south from any country, you're gonna end up at Antarctica. Like that's a point you could verify for yourself.
So,
Go and do that, and that'll prove to you the Earth's flat. But you won't do that.
Do what? Sorry, I was trying to get the route of the race up instead of listening to your incessant babbling. Right, so here we have the route of the Vanderglobe race.
You're literally just looking up shit online and you believe it all. Like,
I'm looking at the tracking map that the sailors present and follow of the Vanderglobe race. So as you can see, they start in France here.
So if they go in a straight line across that Antarctic wall, it's gonna if you turn that into a globe, it's gonna come up that they went in a circle You
Around
understand?
Antarctica, yes.
Yes, but
Right.
they didn't actually go around. They remapped it onto a ball. You
No,
can
they
see that's
again,
not-
right. So let's have a look at the route
Remap.
they take.
It's
So,
remap.
so let's have a look at the route they take. They start here in France, right, and they head west, and then they go south until they reach around this point, and then they start circumnavigating Antarctica. And as you can see, they get to this point, and either they magically disappear and appear over here, and then come back round after going around the entirety of Antarctica and head back north and head to France, or this is a globe and that's connected. But most importantly, if this is the model that you presented, that means that they had to travel around the entirety. Oh, that's the wrong one. Of the outside.
Oh, that's you
right?
misinterpreting information again. It's
How
your
am I
fail-
misinterpreting?
Your inability to
Look,
interpret information.
this is them
doesn't
going
mean I'm
around the
wrong.
entirety of Antarctica.
because you don't understand
They
something
sail
doesn't
the
mean it's not
entire
true.
thing, right?
You're not
Here
thinking
is-
deep
here
enough.
is the track.
Listen,
Here is the
once
tracking
they get to
data
that
for you to
point,
see.
That's just a computer generated. That's just a computer image. That is
Oh,
not
so they can
reality
teleport,
at
can they?
all.
So they can teleport, can they?
No, this proves me right. Once they go down there,
how does
right?
this prove you right?
Because you're not even listening. I've told you already. Once they go down to where fucking Brazil is there, you're saying that's where they go to Argentina or whatever.
Well, they go south of Argentina, yeah.
Yeah, down to that point, and they go left to the left, and then they pop back out on the right. That's only because this image is limited in its dimensions, so that it's made so that when it
This
comes off
image
the
is
screen, it
limited
pops
in
back
its
over the other side. You don't understand how computers work. I've actually studied.
Yeah, I
computer
do understand
science.
how computers
That's how they
work.
work. It doesn't mean the Earth is
I
a
don't
globe.
think
That's
you
why
ever
they're
studied
popping out.
anything. So, right. what you can see though is that they travelled the entire coast of
You don't
Antarctica.
know how this works. You
Again,
don't even know what you're looking at.
As this shows, they travelled the entire
Doesn't
coast
show,
of
you
Antarctica.
Show me a fake map. Oh my god.
Again, but as the route shows, they travelled the entire length of Antarctica, right? The entire length of it. This is the entire coast of Antarctica, and they travelled the entire thing.
That's the image that they've put onto this
is
screen.
the entire... Right, let me zoom out a bit so you can see the entire thing. This is all of the land masses in the world, and this is the entire coast of Antarctica laid out in a 2D projection, right? And it shows that they travelled the entire coast of Antarctica, which on your model would be around the entire ice ring on the outside, which would be over 42,000 miles, which is not what they travelled.
But there's no footage of it. You're just saying they sailed across a wall, basically. That's what you're saying. It's literally proving me right.
I'm saying they sailed across a...
Listen, you are aware that Antarctica is officially the highest landmass on Earth?
It does have the highest average elevation, yes.
Yeah, so when you're actually there, all you can see is an ice wall. It's not some sort of, like, joke.
No, that's not what that means, fuck's sake.
No, but it is mostly a big ice wall because it's fucking massive.
It's not.
Here's
the wonderful thing. I've been to Antarctica, and it's definitely not an ice wall.
No, you've not.
Well, yeah, I did, actually. No, I did.
You can't go to Antarctica. You can go nearby to islands nearby.
I mean, the fact that McMurdo's... Well, wonderful. So, Durf's app actually proves you wrong there. Because, you know, deep inside the rabbit hole, his Flat Earth app actually shows the location of people that have downloaded and used the app. And it actually shows that there was 3 people in Antarctica using the map, the app.
Right, that doesn't prove it. That's such a retarded globe thing to say because there's people that live in Antarctica right facing
wait,
Argentina.
but you said you can't go there.
They're actually not allowed to meet each other. They're not allowed to speak. And of course you can have Wi-Fi in a coastline town of Argentina. And the people that live there, they actually live on coastal islands. If you pay like 15 grand or whatever it is, or thousands of pounds to go on these Antarctic flights, there's only a few and they're all owned by the same person. There's one person or one group of people, I'm sure it's one person that actually owns the only way any civilian can fly or fucking sail anything to Antarctica on a trip, and you cannot go inland Antarctica. You can go.
You absolutely can. There's nothing stopping you. No, it's not. Again, there's nothing stopping you.
What are you talking about? Try and book it. Try and book it. You will not go inland Antarctica. No one can.
Again, you can just go there yourself.
Bird went.
You can just go there yourself. It's fine.
What, so how far do you think you can go in Antarctica?
You can go across the entire thing. If you want to, you're likely going to die because it's very horrible, but no one's going to stop you walking as far as you want into Antarctica.
So you're denying that there's Antarctic patrols?
Yes, there is not Antarctic patrols.
All right, okay, let's freeze. Let's freeze there. Hold up, let's freeze because I think I deserve.
They don't have military penguins.
Okay, that's funny because
I'm just looking now on YouTube at the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos of people doing the Vanderglobe race.
Yeah, can I send you something then real quick, and can you pull it up on the video? Just save me messing about and sharing my screen.
Sure, yeah.
You just denied... Save my Zoom.
So are you saying that there is military patrols stopping you going to Antarctica?
100%, because I was...
and you also say... Let me just clarify. You also say that...
Just pull this up on the screen before you
okay, I'm just clarifying. You also... I'm going to...
You're making me sound like I'm some sort of fucking retard when everything
I am trying to clarify your position.
Right.
I'm trying to clarify your position. You're saying that there is patrols stopping you getting to Antarctica, and you're also saying that Antarctica is an ice wall around the edge, which has to be at least 42,000 miles. Is that right?
No, I never once spoke about the dimensions of Earth.
Well, it would have to be if you're saying the AE map is your model.
No, actually, this is all like a false, invalid argument, because to prove the Earth is not a ball, I don't have to present any model whatsoever. This is a logical fallacy. The globe has always used. I have to present a new model to replace yours. No,
I'm just asking for your evidence.
I only have to destroy your model.
But you haven't destroyed my model.
The logical and common sense facts that are left behind after your model is destroyed is what proves the Earth is flat. It's the absence of proof.
You're talking about...
There we go. That's the Royal Navy website.
Yeah. So they're duty bound to protect the beautiful landscape from harm. So basically, they enforce things like...
Come on, you can't dance around this. There is
let me respond. That it's
is
not.
Antarctic
It's not a.
patrol.
It's not a patrol stopping people going to Antarctica. They patrol
I never said
Antarctica.
that. I never said that. I said you can pay
Okay.
to go on a flight or a boat, but it's only one company that does the same thing.
No,
It's
there's many
multiple
companies
owned by the
actually.
same-
There's many companies.
owned by
Anyway,
the same person.
anyway, let me explain what this is.
No, I'm not finished.
These
Owned
are
by the
people.
same person. You can go.
They are not
but
owned
you
by the
cannot
same people,
go
you're wrong.
To actual Antarctica.
Yes, you can absolutely go to
nearby or
Antarctica.
go.
There's people that walked across
And
it.
here is the evidence of Antarctic patrol. So,
But
you're gonna
these
take that
again,
back, or you're
right?
just
So
gonna
there
dance
is
around
not
it?
Antarctic
You
patrols
just
that
denied
stop.
there was any Antarctic
Will you
patrol.
let me
There's no
speak? Will you let me speak?
penguins.
Will you let me speak?
And here we go.
Will you let me
Antarctic
speak?
Patrol.
Will you let me speak?
No, admit you're
Do I have to
wrong.
mute you?
Admit you're
Do I
wrong.
have to mute you? Are you going to let me
If you
speak?
mute- if you
Are
mute
you going
me
to
at
let
any
me?
point,
Are
I'm
you
just
going to let me
gonna leave.
respond? Or am I going to have to mute you?
If you're gonna mute me,
Which
I'll
one
leave.
is it?
You can-
Which one is it? Are you going to let me respond?
You can
Are
deny
you going to let me
it's
respond?
Antarctic
Are you going to let me respond? Are you going to? Am I going to
Oh,
have to
you're the
mute you?
biggest globe.
Are you going to
crybaby
let me
I've met.
respond? Are you going to let me respond? Or are you too scared to let me respond?
What's on your screen?
Are you too scared to let me respond? No.
What's on
Well,
your screen?
shush and let me respond.
What's
All right.
on your screen?
All right. So you're too
What does
scared
that
to let me.
say?
You're too scared
Read
to
it
let me
out
respond.
slowly.
I'm going to mute you for 2
Read
seconds.
it
I'm going to mute.
out.
I will mute you for 2 minutes while I speak.
A-N-T.
Right, you're muted right now while I speak. Okay, so this is the Antarctic Patrol, but it is not a patrol of ships that stop you going to Antarctica. It's simply called the Antarctic Patrol because that is the name of the Royal Navy mission. And what they do is they protect the coastline from illegal activities and help in humanitarian reasons. It is not a patrol of a bunch of ships patrolling a 42,000 kilometer perimeter. Okay, do you understand? I will unmute you now. I bet you've run away, haven't you? Yes, he left because he was too scared to hear the answer. Too scared to hear the answer, so couldn't shut up and had to run away. I'll just poke him. Too scared to hear the answer and had to run away. Typical Flerf, you failed. There we go. Rage quit. He was so bad. Hello everyone, how you all doing? Typical flat earther just running away. The rage quit always makes me happy. In about an hour and a half, I'm going to be on Splatoon Show talking about an upcoming project with MC Toon and Schrodinger's cat. I want to say thank you to everybody for watching. There's been a load of you here. Let me read some super chats. I read a few to start with, and here's the rest of them. Bad Uncle Bob became a member 20 months ago, says, I hear this guy knows a lot about maps. No, because he thinks a map is a model. Oh, he says he's still here. No, you're not. No, you aren't. You ran away. Come back, then. He says he's still here, but he's literally not in the call. Let's see if he comes back. Oh, he's come back. Are you back, are you? Are you there?
Yeah, you muted me. I said I'll leave if you mute me. You can't.
Yeah, so here's the thing, right? If you don't let me talk, then I have to mute you so I can get out my sentences. All right?
You've got 20 seconds then.
I'll have as long as I want. This is my show. So
Yeah, but it's supposed to be fair.
Yeah, so
fair. You've taken over.
I will
If we
give
actually
you
had a moderator here,
time
you'd
to
have
speak
said
if you
it.
let
No
me
way.
speak instead of just flapping your gums constantly. So did you hear what I said, or did you run away because you were too scared to hear the answer?
Hey, bro, you don't need to read that website. All you need to know is there is an Antarctic.
Again,
That's what you
I didn't
denied.
even read the
That's what you
website.
denied.
Again, I didn't even read the website. I was explaining
Failed.
to you what it is. Did you listen, or did you run away because you were scared to hear the
You
answer?
already know what it is. It was something
Then
I
what
was
is it?
looking to apply for.
What is
You
it?
already-
What does the Antarctic Patrol do?
It's going to do whatever it says they're doing on the website. But
So what is
it's
that?
a fact. You can't go there. You're
what is
aware
it?
there's protected airspace and there's protected.
You can
sea.
absolutely go there. There's no reason why you can't go there. They will not stop you going there.
There is. The Antarctic Treaty prevents you from going.
No,
there.
it does not.
Yes, it does. Very
The Antarctic
clearly.
Treaty does not
Yes, it does.
prevent you from going to Antarctica.
Bro, the reason they prevent us all from going there in their
We're not
reason is to
prevented from
protect
going there.
wildlife.
We're
It's to
not
protect
prevented
the
from going there.
environment.
We are not prevented from going there.
Go do it then.
It's not very easy. You'll likely die.
Why is it not easy? Why is it not easy?
Because you will likely die when you go there.
You won't. It's not. What do you think it is?
It's the most inhospitable place on Earth.
There, you doofus.
It's one of the most inhospitable places on Earth.
They've got a flat Earth map. Yeah. An app on the phone that
and
they pay for.
they're in research stations.
Doesn't that debunk you? Doesn't that debunk you that people?
Are you going to let me respond, or are you going to keep talking again? Are you going to let me respond, or are you going to keep talking?
You don't respond. You just change the subject.
I'm trying to respond, but you keep flapping your gums. I'm trying to respond, but you keep flapping your gums.
I'm still waiting for curvature proof or gravity proof. You actually owe me £1,000.
I've already shown. I don't owe you anything. I've already shown you that there's curvature.
You do. You do.
So do you want to get
me £1,000? Why don't you go show people that video where you said
you need to first debunk gravity before you can get £1,000. You can't debunk gravity.
Listen, right? That's your claim. Let me speak here because you're going to cut me off in about 2 seconds.
You're changing subjects.
You just done it now.
Yeah, but we haven't finished the last subject. We haven't finished the last subject. You're just trying to change the subject because you're scared.
I'm trying to keep up with how many times you change it. You just
I'm trying to stick on. I'm trying to stick on the same subject.
I'm just saying you owe me the £1,000 about gravity. I don't.
Yeah, okay. You're changing the subject again. You're changing the subject again.
What about Antarctic patrols?
Yes. Tell me what the Antarctic patrol. Tell me what the Antarctic patrol does.
It was a
you don't know, do you? You don't know what the Antarctic Patrol does, do you? You don't know what that particular. You don't know what that particular Royal Navy mission does. You don't know what. You don't know what that particular Royal Navy mission does, do you?
In the name, what part of
you don't know what it does, do you?
Typical Glober.
You don't know what it does, do you? You can't tell me what it does because you don't know.
All Antarctic patrols do, and guess what? On a flat Earth model, every single nation they have an Antarctic patrol. That means the entire coastline of Antarctica is protected. Right,
so it would be the largest navy in existence.
No, it wouldn't. It
would. It would need to keep over 42,000 miles patrolled.
Oh my God! What on earth are you thinking? This is your inability to think logically. We don't think.
My inability to think logically. You told me the fucking AE map as a model, you numpty.
I never said that. You can go back. I said
those are your fucking words. I asked you what your model was, and you said the UN logo.
Bro, this proves me right because you're not going to achieve anything.
You being dumb proves me right. Okay. Anyway, all right. On to gravity then, if that's what you want to do. If you want to go on to gravity, that's fine. Do you want to go on to gravity?
So are you just going to acknowledge there is an Antarctic patrol? It doesn't matter what it does or who they are. You're going to acknowledge
there is a Royal Navy mission that is called Antarctic Patrol, but there is not a large patrol of Antarctica.
Antarctic patrol. There is military Antarctic patrol. Okay, I'm not so crazy after all.
You're very crazy. Yes. Anyway, about gravity.
There is an Antarctic patrol though, so you were wrong.
Yeah, there's people just patrolling Antarctica to keep people away, like you claim.
No, that's a story that you believe, however...
Yeah, sure, I'm the one that believes in stories. Anyway, you wanted to talk about gravity, so shall we go to gravity? Alright, I've got about another hour before I need to go and produce another show.
Let's go on, it's 1-0 so far.
So, okay, you obviously can't count to 1, that's very cool. Right, so about gravity. I challenged, I can't remember my specific words, but I said I'll give 1,000...
You need a physicist, and that's it. You need someone who's actually got a degree in physics and debunk.
Oh yeah. So that's right. So my challenge was to get a flat earther that has a degree, or at least a master's level degree in physics, to tell me that I am wrong about what science says about gravity. That was my specific challenge. So do you have a master's level physics degree that a flat earther has?
You've got yourself a little clause to get out of the challenge then, haven't you?
Well, yeah, because the point is...
Let me speak!
Well, no,
you just don't want to give up this money. Let me speak. I shouldn't need a degree in physics. If I can do it...
So you're just changing the rules of the challenge, fine, yeah.
It makes it even better though. If I don't have a degree and I can still do it, doesn't that make it better for me?
What, you can tell me that science disagrees with me about gravity?
100%. The scientific method is all against gravity. That is not even
incorrect. Nothing about the scientific method is against gravity.
In life. What?
So my challenge was specifically.
No. Your challenge is for someone, and you require that they have a degree in physics.
Yes, there's a reason that I have that, right? And let me explain why. Let me explain. Right, before we
I
carry
already
on.
know why. You don't need to waste time
Let me.
explaining simple
No,
things.
I want to explain it, and I'm going to. So I'd like you to do me the courtesy of listening. Okay.
Why? Just so I can't get my point out.
No, I will let you have your
literally
point
haven't done
after.
with it.
I will
know
let you
why.
have your point. Gleason,
Bro, you're
I will
so
let you have your
pointless.
point after I've finished explaining what my point is, okay? I will give you time to respond. Just give me time to get out what I need to say first, okay? That fair?
Go on.
Right. My challenge was specifically to have somebody that is trained in physics with a master's level physics degree or higher to tell me that science in general, the scientific community, and everyone that understands about gravity disagrees with me about gravity. Because that's what Sleeping Warrior claims, is that I am going against science, and that science says that I am wrong about gravity. Which is why I want somebody in the scientific field that understands science and is part of the modern scientific community that is a flat earther and has at least a physics level degree, so I know they know what they are talking about, to tell me that I am wrong. If that happens, I will not only give, and it wasn't just 1,000, it was my entire month's earnings from YouTube to a charity of their choice, and I will delete my channel. That was the challenge.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Okay, so
Right.
do you
You've
have,
explained it
as my
now.
challenge
Can I speak?
specifically states, yeah, let me finish. Do you have a challenge, as my challenge specifically states, do you have a flat earther that is part of the scientific community and has at least a master's level degree in physics that can tell me that my assessment of gravity according to science is wrong?
Right, so have you explained now why you needed the physicist so I can carry on my point?
Yeah, I've explained what the entire challenge
I don't
is.
need to answer your question right now. I'm just going to
I'm
prove
not
why
asking. I'm not asking a question.
I could already claim this prize.
All I
so-
did. Well, you can't. But carry on.
Right, so it shouldn't matter to you what degree I have. If I can logically do enough to prove to you that what you say is gravity is not 100% true, then I've won the prize. I understand why you expect
Incorrect.
a physicist to do that. But let me just put something forward. Just because you set those rules doesn't mean they're the be-all, end-all. A physicist, right, they're going to be less likely to even look into this stuff. And people that have degrees in those fields, like astrophysics, for example, a lot of those people are probably smart to a certain level, but they've spent all that energy and all that intellect in something that's not real. Like Stephen Hawking, like they spend their lives on a complete fake subject, probably not even smarter than the average man, or he might have been. Who knows? These people, like these physicists, they've studied something that isn't true.
Oh my God.
So a physicist telling you that gravity is wrong they have only studied the same thing you have. So what does them being a physicist have anything to do with it? They just know your wrong model as much as you do, or better. So
Okay, can I answer that question?
No. Let's just get to the point first. Gravity is officially a theory, and let's not dig
No, it's
down into
not.
what the word theory means.
No, it's
Let's
not
dig
officially
down
a
into
theory.
that.
Gravity is a natural law.
It's actually a hypothesis.
No, it's
There's
not.
many
Gravity is a
hypotheses
natural
of
law.
gravity. Stop interrupting me. It's not a law at all. It's
Yeah,
only a
gravity is a
hypothesis
natural
to
law.
explain.
Gravity
It's
is
a
a natural
hypothesis
law.
that came around after the globe was invented in
No,
the 1860s.
again, gravity is a natural
to explain
law.
to people, it's not.
Yes, it
explains
is a
to
natural
people-
law.
Bro, you're not even
There's
letting me
literally
speak
a natural
now. This
law of
proves you're the
gravity.
one that's jumping in. I let you speak. You don't let me
Yeah,
speak.
you asked me a question, then you didn't let me respond, though.
It's rhetorical. I'm just speaking.
So you don't want me to answer your questions?
Not right now, no. I'll ask you a direct question when I want you to answer it. I'm trying to
Okay.
speak for more than a minute without being screamed at.
But you do understand that there's a natural
Literally
law of
squawking
gravity,
and
though, right?
shaking and like rattling around in
You
your chair
do
whenever
understand
you
there's
get
a
angry.
natural law of gravity, though, right?
There's
to be
not. There's
clear.
not. You might believe that, but let me just point out why that's wrong. So gravity was invented after the globe was invented to explain to people that never believed the Earth was flat in this time period. How could we possibly be living upside down? That's the obvious question all these people would have. And what did they do? The Jesuits, the scientists that work
The
are
Jesuits.
Freemasons as well. They come from
Newton
the
was
Vatican Church, and it's well documented that the Jesuits funded all the banks, all the education systems. That's why the heliocentric model got pushed in over the
Hey, do you know what a Jesuit
true
is?
model. Yeah, the people that are in the Society of Jesus.
Yeah, and was Newton one of those?
They're all Jesuits.
Was Newton
Einstein,
a Jesuit?
Newton.
Was he?
They're probably a Freemason. Yeah.
You got any evidence of this?
Newton was wrong about everything. We don't need to talk about Newton. because he had his own theory of gravity, which was different.
Newton didn't even have a theory of gravity, so there's that.
Just let me finish. Gravity is only in existence to present the idea of how we could stick to a ball. It was not ever even spoke about when everyone knew the Earth was flat. If the Earth is flat, you don't need gravity unless you believe in the stupid pizza model that you're showing on the screen. That is stupid. Gravity on a flat Earth,
All flat Earth is stupid,
this is the truth. The truth is that we are on a stationary plane. We don't know how big it is. We don't know how vast it is. We don't know if we're enclosed. We don't know what. We just know it's flat, and we know that all the points about the globe aren't true. We can scientifically debunk all of that. We don't have to sit here and pretend like being narcissistic and say, "Oh, we've got all the answers." We can laugh at what?
Scientifically, lovely. I'd love to see the science that demonstrates that. Okay,
well,
so
all experiments that have ever been conducted prove the Earth is flat. There's not a single one other than misinterpreted.
There is no experiments that show
misinterpretation. Again, like you failed with the pictures. You thought a boat, like a massive ship, was almost fully submerged after only a few miles to one that was fully visible.
I clearly showed that it was, and you couldn't zoom it back in. I clearly showed that.
No, but
anyway,
you
so
couldn't
let me respond. Let me respond.
The seagull in the double distance photo, you couldn't even say whether
we've
that
no
was
idea how close, how far away
not.
that seagull is. There's no information about it.
Yeah, but you couldn't tell me the data on the zoom level. You couldn't tell me how far he zoomed in. So
It was all the way zoomed in. I told you that.
It was fully zoomed in.
Yes.
Right, and then I told you, if he's fully zoomed in from 24 miles with a P1000 or whatever, you could calculate the distance of where the seagull's showing up on the horizon with the size of the seagull and the
maybe, but I don't have that information, and refraction
but you could still, you don't need to even work that out specifically. You could.
But anyway, none of this is to do with my challenge about gravity. None of this is to do with my challenge about gravity. You seem to have missed the entire.
There is no
wait,
about
hold on,
it's
hold on.
And therefore, you
it's not a theory.
It's not a theory. Because there's no.
It's not a theory. It's not a theory. It's not a theory. It's not a theory. And you seem to. It's not. You seem to. Right. You seem to. Now listen. Shh. Listen.
Can't prove space.
You seem to have missed the entire point of the challenge. Right. And it wasn't to disprove gravity. That wasn't what the challenge was. The challenge, which Rachie will back up as she is in the chat right now.
To tell you why yours is wrong.
No, is not. My challenge was to get someone who
That's what you
is.
said.
No, again, my challenge is to get somebody who is in the scientific field and has at least a master's degree level in physics.
Oh, you're so in denial. So in denial.
Just let me talk before you interrupt.
I had a degree in physics and I told you the same thing. You deny it.
Let me. Again, you're missing the point of the challenge.
What I just said.
The challenge is for somebody who is in the scientific.
A physicist has only studied government physics, which is
let
fake.
me talk.
They can't offer anything
Gleason,
extra.
let me talk. Let me talk. Right? The challenge was for somebody in the scientific field to tell me that science tells me that I am wrong. Right? Because that's what Sleeping Warriors. Again, that's what Sleeping Warrior tells me is the case. But the modern scientific consensus is that gravity is real.
No, it's not.
And
no, it's not.
It absolutely
government
is.
Consensus.
No, the scientific consensus.
Government scientists.
The scientific consensus across the world is that gravity is real. But the specific challenge.
That's fake. That's
you need to shut up and listen. The specific.
You're spouting lies, bro.
You need to listen.
Done on this
Listen. You're never going to understand if you don't listen.
You're not. All the experiments you've shown.
I'm going to mute you for 5 seconds. And try and get my point across.
If you mute me.
Right, then you rage quit. That's your choice. But right, can you do me? I don't want to mute you.
I don't want to
mute you. I don't want to mute you. But can you do me the courtesy of being quiet right now while I respond? Can you do me the courtesy of being quiet right now while I respond?
You're literally scamming people out of
money.
Can you do me the?
Can you be quiet and let me respond? Are you going to let me respond?
Look how angry you are.
Are you going to let me respond? Or are you going to keep proving how scared you are? Right? Be quiet for the next at least 30 seconds, and then you can respond afterwards. My challenge was about what the scientific community says and their consensus of what is the variations between Einsteinian and Newtonian gravity. That's what we were specifically talking about. I challenged Rachie, the flat earther, to get a physics level, at least master's level physics degree person who understands gravity to tell me that I was wrong about the intricacies of Einsteinian versus Newtonian gravity specifically. That was the challenge. Not to disprove gravity in any way, but to tell me I'm wrong about what science says with Newton versus Einstein. That was the specific challenge. You haven't even attempted that. You do not get to claim win of the challenge. Have you left? Yeah, he ran away because he didn't want to hear me actually say what I needed to say. Well, there we go. 2 rage quits in 1 stream. I call that a win. I didn't even mute you and you ran away. All right, let's read the super chats. Carry on. Fuck you. Bob, Bad Uncle Bob's been a member for 20 months, says, I hear this guy knows a lot about maps. No, he doesn't know about anything. Oh, what's he saying? You didn't let me talk. You rage quit twice because you wouldn't shut up. Yeah, sure. We could. Okay. I'll get an ex-flat earther who is in control. He wants another. He wants another debate with a mod. That's fine. Let's get Seek Truth, Speak Truth to moderate a debate between us. All my points were superior. Your points were not understanding anything. Let's just put this up on screen a sec so everyone can see what he's saying. He says, all my points were superior. Your fans are minuscule and they don't even understand the model. You don't have a model. You claimed the A map projection was a model. So all them super chats are retarded. If you say though, so that's your thing. Hold up, not Facebook on YouTube, please. Okay. That was my bad. He doesn't want me to show his right. I will blur it so no one can see it. No one saw what your name was. It's fine. I just wanted people to see what the responses were. He said, hold up, all them super chats are retarded. Plus, I mean, he's all over the groups anyway, everyone. Right, so let's read the rest of the super chats. After 2 rage quits. Fuck YouTube for $5. A Flerf giving evidence of flat earth. That's crazy talk. Yes, it absolutely is. Tim Tully, $10. Evidence. We don't have no evidence. We don't need no stinking evidence. No flat earthers. They claim they don't need evidence. All they need to do is debunk the globe, which they always fail at. Jake the Surgeon for $5. Why the P900? Are other cameras altered by the reptilioids? Did Satan create the other cameras? Yes, he did. Mermaid, $5. I've been a follower of Dearth years before I became a Flerf. How can you even sleep after talking to one of these things? I don't know. Screws my brain up. Jacob Fire, 200 yen. I think this guy caused Britain's brain loss to America. Oh, he's back. Jake the Surgeon, $5. Eric Dubay couldn't debunk a toddler's dissertation on why the purple crayons are the best to eat. VTuber Sumi for $2. We should feed the Flerfs to Talek. Yeah, stop trying to get me to read like ancient monsters' names. Gleason, you there?
Hello.
Yeah. Apologies, I didn't mean to actually show what your name was, and I will blur that out on the replay, I promise.
Yeah, I've not rage quit at any point. I told you if
you've rage quit
me,
twice.
I'm gonna leave.
I didn't even mute you the second time.
No, I've not rage quit. I was laughing.
You've rage quit twice.
It's not really a rage though.
It is.
My
That's
points
exactly
are still standing.
Well, you haven't made any points.
Let me just confirm then, because basically what you do is you speak over everyone, you wait till they leave, and then you skew what happened with all your followers, and they all believe.
Well, no, everyone can watch the replay. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah. But what they'll see is everything I said
is you not letting me
actually
talk ever. Yeah,
makes sense, and I let you.
Nothing
speak
you said
for
makes sense.
Long periods of time without interrupting, and then whenever I speak, you jump and bite on every single point I make. You're doing it now. You're literally doing it now. And if you scroll back through this entire video, if you don't edit it out, you'll see
whenever you ask a question and I try to respond, you don't let it happen. So
no, I do. I'm allowed to ask a rhetorical question while
beat...
speaking. You've taken over now just because it's your podcast. You keep taking over.
This is YouTube, not a podcast.
It's supposed to be an equal debate. It's supposed to be an equal debate.
This isn't a podcast. This is YouTube. However, as you asked,
it's a live podcast.
It's not a podcast. It's YouTube. Podcast is no video. So as you asked, I will get a moderator to come and do it.
Podcast is still on video, actually.
Yeah. This isn't a podcast. This is a live debate. I don't put it on podcast services.
It's virtual
just YouTube.
podcast.
Yeah, it's not a podcast. I will get a moderator to have a proper debate between us, so we can actually present evidence properly and not over talk each other if that's what you want. But the fact is,
I'll debunk all of you right now. Every single person in the chat, like, they don't understand. They just believe in the globe. They don't know what the flat Earth model is, and every single proof they think they have of the globe is wrong. What have you got? Fake pictures. There is. It's the equal size sun and moon. It's on the DITRH whatever it is clock app. That is the model.
Yeah, that app has been debunked perfectly.
No, it hasn't. It explains everything.
No, it can't predict the sunrise east of Australia in December at all.
Of course it can.
No, it actually can't. It's been tested. It can't predict where the sun should be coming up at certain times in the year because it's not accurate.
How do all the ancient civilizations' stones work with cuttings and?
Well, they didn't cover the entire world, did they? And here's the thing: they didn't cover the entire world.
This is what you didn't answer before.
You just asked me a question.
How did all the ancient people sail around the world before a globe was invented?
You're just going to keep changing your question? Choose a question for me.
I'll choose this one instead. How did all the ancient people sail around the world 4,000 years before a globe was ever invented?
They didn't sail around the world. They sailed around their local area using...
No, they did actually, because there's buildings in every country that are exactly the same style, which proves the same architecture from the same people.
Yeah, lots of different people came up with pyramids, and they're all actually like thousands and thousands of years apart. But the ancient people didn't sail... The ancient people didn't sail around the world. They sailed around their local area.
Oh yeah, and by the way, to that retard in the chat, planet.
Again, I'm trying to answer, and you keep talking.
A planet is a wandering star, and the word planet is a planet comes from plain T. Not a planet.
No, it doesn't. You just made that up.
Planet is a wandering star. They're the only stars that move, and stars prove the Earth is flat as well. Everything proves the Earth is flat.
No,
just because you disagree, you get hung up on. Scientists and experts.
Anyway, you're not going to let me respond then? You asked me a question and you won't let me respond.
I'm not going to
let you You're too scared to hear the answer. You are too scared to hear the... You ask a question. This is what you've done the entire debate. You ask a question. They refuse to let it... You're doing it again. You're doing it again. Every single time you ask a question, you refuse to let me answer because you're too scared to hear the answer.
You've already done that all the debate. I've given you several opportunities to speak.
No, you haven't. Every time I tried to answer, you overtalked me. Every single time. You're doing it right now. You're doing it right now.
You can't do it, bro.
You're doing it right now.
You can't win.
So do you want...
I just mugged you off, and you've been angry ever since because I said, do you deny that there was anything as an Antarctic patrol? And you said, yeah, and then I said, hold up. I got you to pull it up.
No, you said, do I deny that there's an Antarctic patrol? And I had the... I've explained that. I've explained that. I've explained that. I was under the assumption that you meant that...
And you were wrong.
Okay. Let me explain. Let me explain. Let me explain. Are you too scared to let me explain? Are you too scared to let me explain? You're too scared to let me explain, aren't you?
I'll let you speak, and I'll carry on with this debate all night as long as you sit there and
say you're too scared. You're too scared to let me explain, aren't you? You're too scared. You're far too scared to let me explain, aren't you? Far too scared.
I've answered everything.
Well, then be quiet.
Sit there and explain.
Yeah. Well, if you're not scared, sit there for 1 minute and let me explain.
Bro, you're literally like a baby.
If you're not scared, then sit there for 1 minute and let me explain. If you're scared, carry on talking. If you're scared, carry on talking.
Your ego and your pride.
So you're scared. Yeah. So you're scared. So you're scared. You just admitted you're scared.
No, there is no Antarctic patrol. Do you want me to pull that website up again?
You just admitted you're scared.
All right, well, pull it up again. Pull it
Either,
up again.
either spend 1 minute being quiet and let me explain, or admit you're scared. Those are the two options. What do you want to do?
I'm not scared. You keep muting me when I'm speaking.
Well,
You're
because
the
you
one
won't let me
scared,
speak.
and you keep
won't let
talking
me
over
speak,
me.
and I've only muted you once. I've only muted you
No,
once.
you've muted me twice.
No, I didn't mute you the second time. You just ran away.
No, you said you've been muted, and then I left the chat.
No, I
Go
didn't say
rewind
you've been
it.
muted.
Yes, you did.
I only
Yes,
muted you once. Right, now, are you going to let me
Oh, you might
respond?
have, but you still declared you muted me
All
the
right,
second
no, I
time.
didn't. So, are you going to give me 1 minute
did.
where I can explain, or are you too scared? Which one is it?
What do you want to explain? What you go off on a tangent explaining some
Let-
word or
well,
phrase,
well,
but
let-
you can never
are you
actually
going-
get down to the
Give me
actual
one.
nitty-gritty
Give me
that
1
there is
minute.
no
Give me
evidence
1
that
minute.
proves
Give me
curvature
1
or
minute, and I will
gravity or
explain.
space. Three
Give me 1 minute,
pseudo-theories.
and I will explain the Antarctic patrol thing. Can you do
It
that?
doesn't need explaining. All I said was.
So
is
you
there-
are
is
you're
there-
too scared to hear. You're too right. Okay, no worries. We can move on from that because you're too scared to hear the explanation. That's fine. I understand that.
Hey, you're talking about not answering questions. All I said was.
Yeah, you
is
haven't
there an
answered any
Antarctic
questions. You're
patrol?
too scared.
I said-
You're too scared to
Bro,
let me answer questions.
Bro, listen.
All you can
I
do
said,
is talk
is
over
there-
me. All you can do is talk over me.
I'm not talking over you right now.
Yeah, you're
keep
doing it
talking.
right now. I was trying to give you
Is
my
there
explanation, and you kept talking.
an Antarctic
You proved that you
patrol?
are scared, and you've proven that you are scared.
I'm not scared of any. All I said
I can
was,
show
is
that
there an
space is
Antarctic-
real. Do you want to talk about that? I can show that space is real.
Look, you're going off on tangents now. I said, is there an Antarctic patrol?
Yeah. So can I explain?
And you said
Can I explain
no.
my answer?
You said no.
Yes, I said,
said
no,
no.
and will you let me explain my answer?
Oh, stop talking. You said no.
No,
and then
no, will you?
I said,
All right,
pull this
I'm going to
website
mute you
up,
while
and
I
you
explain
went
my
off
answer.
crying,
If
saying,
you don't, I want
need to
1 minute.
describe
I
what it
want
is.
1 minute to explain my answer. Right? Do I need to
Bro,
mute you or
I don't
not?
need it. I don't want.
Do I
need
need
an
to mute
explanation
you
of
or
what
not?
Antarctic patrol is.
Do I need to mute you or not?
This is a flat Earth debate, not an
Yeah,
Antarctic patrol debate.
and I want to
asked
explain
you
my
if
answer
there
about
is
that
an
one thing.
existence of an Antarctic patrol. You said no.
I want to explain that one thing. Are you
You said
going to
no.
let me explain?
Everyone in the chat, no.
Are you
said
going to
no.
let me explain?
You
Are
don't
you too
need to
scared?
explain. You were wrong. You'd rather explain.
Right, I'm gonna.
what's
I've
important
asked
and
1
why you were
minute.
wrong.
I'm now going to mute you for 1 minute, and
Bro,
then I will
you're not
unmute
moving
you.
on from this.
Right, I've muted you right now. You've got 1 minute. Okay, if you leave, that is a rage quit. Okay, so when you said is there Antarctic patrol, I was under the assumption you meant a bunch of ships on constant patrol around Antarctica to stop people going there. And I said no, because there is not that. There is, however, a Royal Navy mission called the Antarctic Patrol, which has its humanitarian and terrain monitoring processes that it does. But it is not a patrol of Antarctica to stop people going there. I'm going to unmute you now, and I bet you've rage quit. Yeah.
I didn't realise I was muted then. I was still talking.
Oh, okay, so you didn't listen to
it's
anything
not-
I said?
No, I listened to it all. I was butting
Right,
in,
okay,
but I
so
couldn't
we're done
hear
with
it.
that now, and we can move on. And you
Well, no,
said
that was
space
wrong,
isn't
though.
real.
That was wrong. It's definitely not a mission. It's an
Yeah,
occupation.
that's
You
the
can apply
literal
to be a
name of
part
the Royal Navy
Antarctic
mission.
Patrol.
That's
You were
literally the
wrong
name of the
again,
Royal
and-
Navy mission.
And their primary objective is not to stop people going. Their primary objective is of course, going to be in line with the government narrative
Yeah,
to
yeah.
protect.
So that is the
coastline.
name of the
Like
Royal
I
Navy
said,
mission.
Is the Antarctic Treaty, which is why they have the Antarctic Patrol. However, if you
The
try and go
Antarctic
there,
Treaty is not the reason for the Antarctic Patrol. That's a Royal Navy mission.
You need authorization to be in that space. If you
No,
try
you
and go
don't.
there, you will get turned down. That's
No,
why
you
if
won't.
you try and fly a plane,
No, you won't.
fly a plane across any country, they will.
Yeah,
ask
it's
you
done
through
all the time.
radio,
One
"Are you
more
doing
orbit
that?"
did it.
There's such thing as airspace and maritime space.
Yeah, and there's no restricted
Illegal to
airspace
go
over
into certain
Antarctica.
areas.
And there's no restricted
What?
airspace over Antarctica. One more orbit flew
Of
over
course there
Antarctica.
is. Of course there is.
Okay, cool. So present me the
Why has
evidence
no one
of
ever
that.
flown
or-
over Antarctica then? Why has no one
I
ever
just
flown
I
over
just
south?
told you a mission that did it called One More Orbit.
No one has ever flown around the world north to south or south to north.
Apart
Only
from One More Orbit
west.
that I've just said about twice, of course.
All right. So this one mystical thing that you've read about is apparently done it. So
not
let's see
mystical.
that. Let's see that.
Yeah, there's
Let's see
actually
that. And I bet it turns out it's bullshit like everything.
there's
else.
actually
I bet
they
it
live
turns
stream the entire thing actually, so you can go and look that up yourself.
out- All right. What you mean like the like all the moon landings and all that bullshit? A live stream doesn't mean that's not science. Science is actually all
They
you
live
guys do
streamed
is
their
videos
process
and
whilst
YouTube
they were
videos
doing
and
it.
Pictures. You don't have any scientific method, just pictures and YouTube videos.
Yeah,
and beliefs.
okay. They've obviously got all the
And then you were
instrumentation
wrong
that
about the patrol, so you
they've
don't even know
obviously
any
got all the
action.
information that records what they were doing, and they live streamed the entire thing, showing that they flew from north to south around the entire planet. Okay.
Well, I'd love to see that. I'd love
Well,
to see
cool.
that.
Just go and search up One More Orbit. I've shown it plenty of times
One
on this
more
channel.
orbit.
Yeah, it's called One More Orbit. I've shown it plenty of times on this channel. All right. 1 sec. I need to check what time my next stream starts.
As a tribute to Apollo 11, right? It's bullshit. I don't even need to watch that.
Of course, you don't want to watch the evidence, do you?
I will watch it, but I don't need to. As soon as it mentions it's to do with the moon landings, it's obviously bullshit.
Oh, yeah, so that's genetic fallacy. That's no worries.
No, because if you know something's true, that's how logic works.
Got just over
that's
an
how
hour.
survival works.
I've got just over an hour before I need to go and produce the next stream. Anyway,
what I wanted to say was literally no ground got covered here. Like, this isn't even the beginning of
Yeah,
the
I know,
debate,
because
in my
you
opinion.
refused to actually have a conversation. And
No,
listen to
anyone
answers
can
and
go
stuff.
watch this back, and I think I've been the most reasonable here. I've spoken, I've been nice.
Reasonable.
You've been laughing, you've been mocking,
Yeah, T Brown,
you've been
we've got
twitching and
art.
jerking,
No need for that.
and you've been screaming at me into the camera. Like, it's been embarrassing for you. You can go watch
Embarrassing,
it
yeah,
back.
embarrassing because I'm the one that
only
couldn't
left
shut up
when
and
you
have a
told you were going to
conversation.
mute me
Right,
and not
cool.
let me speak because you were
Well,
scared
yeah,
of what
because
I
that's
had to
the
say.
only
That's why
way.
you put out a cat's tongue.
Right, that is the
You're scared of what
only
they're gonna
way
say.
that I could actually get a
Bro.
word in edgeways because you don't know how to shut up. But anyway,
Why don't we
you said
reschedule a proper debate with an
you-
actual moderator so you can't squawk over everything I say.
absolutely. I'm willing to do that. 100%. I've
And
told you that.
I'll try and get someone actually big in
No.
in the flat Earth and come with me, and we'll do a two.
Yeah,
a
cool. You
2v2. I
can
don't
bring
care.
whoever you want. Obviously, it won't be Durf because he's terrified of me. It won't be Dubay because he's terrified of me as well.
I don't think anyone's terrified of you. They don't know who you are.
Then why do they do entire shows about me? And why am I the only Glober that was featured
I've
in Eric
never seen
Dubay's
him
movie?
make a show about you. I've never seen anyone refute any of the Durf's points.
Durf's shows points get refuted all the time, whereas Wally recently claimed his.
No, but do you not understand? I told you before.
Again,
you've been
you
debunking
started
the wrong
talking while
model.
I was talking. You started talking while I was talking. Durf's points have been refuted all the time. Whereas Wally claimed the prize and he's refusing to give it. They do shows about me, literally entire shows slagging me off, and I was the only Glober, the only one to be featured in Eric Dubay's Level movie. Yes, they fucking know who I am.
Bro, you might think you've debunked something, as we already established before.
Yeah, it's all been
You've
debunked, yeah.
You don't even know what the model is. You've been debunking
There
the
isn't
wrong
a model.
so you've not debunked anything.
There
He's
isn't a
refuted
model.
his points based on the wrong model. Of course.
No,
if you think
I always attack people's specific points, not a model.
You can't do that though because you don't know what context they're saying that in.
Yeah, no, I attack
before,
their specific
like before,
points.
when you attacked my point about the sun being lighting up the Earth the whole time, I was talking about a much smaller sun. It wouldn't be lighting up the whole Earth as it travelled to the opposite side.
You'd
Common
still be able
sense.
to see the light, though.
You denied that because you thought I was using your sun in your model.
No, I didn't
So
think you were using my sun
You've
at all.
actually been wrong.
I
this
never
whole
said
time,
that
and
at all.
Everyone you've debated.
I never said that at
Not
all.
giving
You're
them a
making that
chance.
up. You are making that up.
You're going to have to delete your channel because if I come back on it with someone else, like you're not, and a moderator, you're not going to have a leg to stand on. You
Right,
haven't
yeah,
been
try
fair.
it then, because I've had many moderated debates and they go just as well. But
Hey,
I
one
guarantee
sec, one
you
sec,
won't
I'm
find
not-
anyone
I'm
that's
just
willing to
answering
come
the
on because
door.
they're all
I'm answering the
scared.
door. One sec.
Yeah, it's probably the police. Okay. The Sun Express for $5. Dear Flerf, why is the Earth not allowed to be a sphere? They never answer that. They just say because it's not, it's flat. Stringer News 1, $5. Obviously the boat is hidden by the river in Egypt. Is that Denial River? Yeah, that's the one. Balthazar 228 499.
Nile's flat.
No, it's not. Interesting how Flat
It is.
Earth has supporters
What's your
around the
bean?
globe. You know, there's like 6 different waterfalls along the Nile, right? Are you done answering the door? Are you there? You're muted if you're there. I haven't muted you. You can unmute yourself. Oh. String News 1, $5. I give Gleason one thing. He's mighty talented at hand waving with his mouth. Yeah, when you constantly talk and never let the other person talk, then it's hard to sound like you know what It's easy to sound like you know what you're on about, but that's because he spends all the time saying nothing and just not letting me talk. Yeah,
I have let you talk. Anyone can rewatch this. I've let you speak loads. Like
apart from all the times I've been asking for you to let me talk and you wouldn't. So we have one of the
already spoke.
We have one of the biggest one of the bigger people that was in the Flat Earth game, Ranty, who is not a Flat Earther anymore. So he's been on both sides.
Who's that?
Ranty Flat Earth.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, he was the one that did all the observations and stuff that all the flat earthers tend to use, and he was a flat earther, and had one of the probably the biggest debate channel for a flat earther, where he did his round table, was on Nathan Oakley's show like loads. But he's not a flat earther anymore because he realised he was wrong because of his own observations, basically. So he's actually been on both sides of the debate, and he's willing to moderate the debate.
So with all flat earthers, though, because they were once globe believers.
Yeah, but he was a flat earther, and now he's a glober again. So
yeah, and I was a globe believer, and now I'm a flat earther. I've been
and
a
then
globe
brain
believer
damage or something, I assume. But
years.
anyway, so he is willing to
17
moderate.
years.
He is willing to moderate a debate between us. Is that fair?
Yeah, I don't care who moderates it. It's about the time.
All right, Ranty. So how about same time next week?
Hold on. Same time, what, 9?
9 p.m. Yeah.
Yeah, that should be all right.
Okay. So
I'll let you know if I have to move it, but
yeah, please do try and actually stay in contact, because conversing.
Oh,
with
one sec. I just want to shout out someone in the chat. Mandelbrot said, "I've actually debunked you like hundreds of times. I remember you from the comments on YouTube."
Of course, you have.
You've failed to respond when I've asked you for curvature. Like,
all right, Ranty. Well, Flerfs, as he's called now, says 9 p.m. next Saturday is fine.
I don't believe any flat earthers have ever gone back to the globe. That's only if you've failed.
I've got an entire playlist on my channel called "Interview with Ex-Flat Earthers."
Yeah, but they must have not looked into it deep enough. That means absolutely.
nothing. Ranty literally did all the experiments himself. He looked deep into it.
So if a child, when they're born, went to school and then they quit school in the first few months, and then you ask them, "Oh, is the Earth a globe?" and they said no, does that mean they're an ex-globe believer and they left because it was stupid, or did they not look into it enough? In your mind, you say it's because they didn't
Ranty
look into
it extensively. He spent
how do you know? You don't know. Only the person can judge that themselves. You don't know.
I
you don't even know the model. You don't even know the model.
There isn't a model. All you have is the AE map. Fuck's sake. But Ranty specifically.
That's a map. That's not a model, as you said.
Yeah, you said it was a model, though. You said it was.
I said specifically it was the UN logo map, not the model. That map is what is part
I
of
asked
the model.
you what your model is, and you said
understand the
UN
definition.
logo.
Of course, the model of Earth relies foundation is the map. That's the foundation of the model.
Anyway, about Ranty, he was deep in it for 5 years more, and he did all the experiments himself. He had his P900, P1000. He did all the observations overseas. He was deep into it. He was big in debating. He spent a lot of time. In fact, he was probably the flat earther that did the most research. That was his thing. All right, so
that's what you would say about someone that's gone back to the globe, though, wouldn't you?
You can go and watch all his videos yourself. They're still on his channel, which is now called Brandon's, because he gave his Flat Earth channel because he was thinking of leaving YouTube. He gave his Flat Earth channel to another flat earther called Brandon, who took it over and renamed it Brandon's. Brandon's now abandoned it because he was really bad at his job. But all of Ranty's old videos are still available on that channel. All the ones where he was trying to disprove the globe are still there. You can see all of the research that he did because he made it publicly available. And we respected him, even though we said he kept proving the globe. We called him the globe hero. Conspiracy Cats had a whole song about him. You know Conspiracy Cats,
I've
right?
seen all these things where they say, flat earthers are proving the globe and that, but that's because they don't understand what's actually going on in those experiments. Yeah. They don't understand that it's not.
Ranty was one of the ones that was proving the globe, and then he was doing the experiments, but after all the observations and everything, he could no longer deny to himself that the Earth is in fact a globe. But he will moderate a debate between us tomorrow, next Saturday at 9 p.m. Sound good?
Yeah, what about finding other people then? Because I'm not guaranteeing it, but I might try and find whoever I think knows enough to join.
Okay, well, I can arrange someone to be here on my side with me. I would probably ask him to...
It's not a definite at the moment.
Right. Well, if you bring someone, I will try and also arrange for MC Toon to come along and be on my channel. If you are able to bring someone. I can tell you now, Durf will make excuses and call me a scumbag as a reason to not debate me. Jeranism will just laugh.
Eric, you haven't actually let me speak at all. You've just claimed that I've not let you speak. So he's probably right not to debate you because you've not let me get through one point.
I mean, I gave you like 10 minutes uninterrupted. You used about 3 of it.
Yeah, that was at the start. Ever since then, you've cut me off every single point.
That's
thought
not
we'd get
true.
like
every time I tried to speak,
20
you
minutes,
wouldn't let
30
me
minutes
speak.
of time. My points are long.
Yeah, just because you
to
waffle for a
override
long
your
time doesn't mean that's a
30
point.
years of programming in an hour. Of course, you're
I
not
don't
going to
have
believe me.
programming.
Everyone has programming.
My NASA programming is quite hard. Anyway, so we can see we can set a format for next week where we have to specifically present evidence of our claims. And I'll tell you now, my 3 claims will be: the Earth is a sphere, the Earth is rotating at 15.04 degrees per hour, and gravity has been experimentally demonstrated to exist as fact. Those will be my 3 claims that I will be presenting evidence for. Okay? What would your 3 claims be?
We could have done that. We could have done that here, and you never presented anything.
That's because I've been responding to your stuff.
You've not. You've been responding to the partial points that I didn't get to make, and you focused on.
I've been responding to
words.
the
You
things
never
that
let
you
me finish
say.
the point.
So those would be my 3 points.
Any flat earther that watches this will 100% know what I'm talking about. You've jumped on bit
Apart
off
from the
every
flat earthers
single...
that are there that are disagreeing with you, of course. Anyway, so
I've not seen
what
any.
would be your 3 points?
There's nothing that proves the Earth has curvature or motion.
Well,
or
again, I'm going to
gravity.
demonstrate, though, that those would be my evidence, right? I am going to show evidence for curvature, evidence for rotation, and evidence of gravity, right? So those are
Okay,
the
yeah,
3
you might
things
do,
that I will
but
present
what-
evidence for. Right? What will be the
You
3
can,
things that you
yeah.
present evidence for?
This isn't how it has to work. I can present evidence for things, yeah, but however,
Okay.
the Earth by default is flat because when we're born, if you weren't told by a government, a specific government, that it's a globe, you would never believe it's a globe. We live on a flat world. We
Right,
see it's a
okay.
flat world. We experience a flat world, and therefore you need to present evidence to firmly conclude that it's a globe. If you can't
Yeah,
do
and
that,
I can do that.
it's
That's
flat by
fine. That's what I'm
default.
saying.
Therefore, you don't need a model. I don't need to give you 3 flat facts. You just need to prove it's
Right,
a globe.
so what
If
you're saying is
can't,
you can't present
it's
evidence
flat.
of the Earth being flat.
We can. I believe every experiment ever conducted is flat Earth proof. And
Right, okay,
every
well, you
photo
present
of the
an
Earth ever
experiment
taken
and
is an
explain-
image of flat Earth.
That's fine. That's fine. You present an experiment and explain how you think it proves the Earth is flat. How about that?
Yeah, there's already thousands. Just go on Earth's channel.
Yeah.
All the videos
Again, I
that-
want you to present an experiment.
Well, yeah,
and tell
I
and
might do, but
explain.
I might just present one of his ones because he's already got them all there.
Yeah, that's fine. But I'm not just playing his videos. You have to, present
Oh
it
yeah,
yourself.
and the Globetards again in the comments. I said clearly I can present evidence to things, but the burden of proof isn't on flat earthers.
Well,
The Earth
absolutely,
is already
100%
flat.
is. That's what burden of proof is.
It's not. It's not.
Yes, it
the
is.
flat
No, it
Earth
is.
older.
No.
Flat
Burden
Earth
of
is
proof.
older.
No,
The burden of proof
no.
is
The
on
standard
modern
is that the
theory.
Earth is a globe. Burden of proof
Your
is on you
theory
with
is
the opposite
modern.
claim. Burden of proof is on you with the opposite claim. Do not try and skew what burden of proof is.
No,
Right?
your theory is modern, and there's no evidence to support it. Therefore,
There's
the
plenty of
burden
evidence,
proof
and
is
I'm
on
going to
you.
present three.
And it
three
goes
specific bits
against
of
our
evidence.
reality. It goes against how we live.
Only
We
because you don't
experience
understand
motion.
physics. So let me be clear,
We
right?
don't experience.
I
yeah,
will
that's
present my
theoretical-
side.
Theoretical
Right.
physics. That's fake.
Gleason, let's just get this sorted, okay? My side will present 3 points that there is evidence of curvature, there is evidence of rotation, and that there is evidence that gravity is real, okay? All I'm asking for you and your side is to present at least one experiment and the analysis of how it shows the Earth is flat. Is that fair?
Yeah, I can do that.
Right. Okay.
Are we still getting a prize for this then?
Well, the prize will be eternal bragging rights.
Nah, I think you get the cash prize if we're going to provide evidence that you. That
Well, no, because
refutes
again,
your theory of
my
gravity,
challenge
and
my challenge was specifically
if we
about
win this
what
debate, why
science
wouldn't
says.
you delete the channel?
You can try and win the debate. That's fine, but I'm never going to delete my channel because I love doing this. But again,
Yeah, so
my
why
challenge
did you
was
make that
very
offer then?
specific because I knew it couldn't be met. And there is nobody with a
Yeah,
physics
but
degree.
you just said if it could be met, you still wouldn't follow up on the reward.
Oh no, if it was met, I would follow up on it.
Right, but that's
But
only one point of the globe Earth. So if we actually win a whole debate and every part of it, not just gravity, surely you would delete your channel,
Why would I just delete my channel?
or at least not do
Hey,
globe Earth promotion.
That is the
anymore.
thing. That is the thing, right? And I have said it all along. If you provide evidence that can show the Earth
We
is
don't
flat,
challenge sorry, this is
If-
to the logical hillbilly. We don't challenge the consensus.
yes,
There's
you
no
do.
scientific consensus the Earth is
Yes,
a globe.
there
That
is.
is, they were forced to learn that. They all learned it from the
No,
same
that
people
is
in
the
school.
scientific consensus.
They never learned that they never found out the Earth was a globe for experiment. They were taught it in school. So all these
Yeah,
scientists,
no,
and
the
all these
scientific
physicists,
consensus is
they
the
were
Earth's a globe.
programmed as children to believe the Earth is a ball. So It's
But again,
invalid what they think. They're actually dumber than the average person because they don't have an open mind. A physicist usually loses debates easier than...
Wait, one sec. I just want to respond to T. Braun, who really doesn't understand this very simple concept. You hold your hand up in front of your face, all right? Your hand is physical, but you are not seeing your physical hand. You are seeing your hand through an atmosphere, and you are seeing your hand back in time. You are not seeing your hand as it is right now, because that's not how things work. I don't know how you don't understand that. T. Braun, please see a psychiatrist or something. Right, so anyway, so you are going to present evidence that of an experiment that shows the Earth is flat with an analysis of how it shows the Earth is flat, correct?
Yeah, there's plenty. Every experiment does that.
Excellent. I cannot wait to hear it. It's been confirmed. The moderator has said that he will come on. We've got Flerfs, otherwise known as Ranty, who will come and moderate the next debate between you and I. So yeah, I need to get ready for producing my next stream, so I'm going to read my super chats. You're welcome to stay here while I read them, but I don't think they're going to be very nice to you. But you're welcome to stay.
Yeah, no worries. I'm just reading through the chats anyway. A sec.
You can read. That's impressive. Member for 5 months, Eddie Reese says, "Who says it's a seagull? Maybe it's an albatross." It was definitely a bird, but I've no idea how far away it was. Zach Grooms for $5 says, "Yet another Flerf that doesn't understand anything." There does seem to be quite a lot of them, doesn't there? 1 second. Sorry, my computer's just gone slow. Give me a sec. Okay. Stringer News 1, $5 says, "Gish galloping all day keeps the reality at bay." Steve6464, $5. "Remember, Flerfs need science to be perfect. Even a slight parallax will discredit the test." Yes, look at what Flat Out Hero is saying. It's fucking hilarious. Currently, I can't use Foucault's pendulum because there is an error of less than 1%. Sarah Jones, £5. "Keep it up, Craig. I didn't realise Ordnance Survey can see it over a mile, but I get it. New bridge engineers do. I'm learning." Max, thank you. Max, fourth Eagle of the Apocalypse, £5. "Keep it up, I will, thank you." Logical Hillbilly, $5. "Please tell us how the moon was made. Oh, please do." Or you know, the shadow thing. That's always good. Steve6464 for $2. Says he thinks his avatar is part of your background. David Griffin, $5. "Flat Earth and evidence doesn't belong in the same sentence. Evidence is false, is verifiable. Flat Earth is fantasy." Crimson Fang, who's been a member for 4 months, says, "Please tell us how the ancient Greeks knew the Earth was a globe before the Vatican and NASA existed." What do you say? Well,
all Greeks were flat earthers in ancient Greece. There's no evidence whatsoever they believe the Earth was a sphere. Just fake stories from heliocentrists who control our education. Everything you've learned has been lies.
Apart from all the writings and everything from ancient Greece showing how they knew it was a sphere, including the postulates from Eratosthenes and the people before them about why they thought it was a sphere before.
Nah, that proves the Earth's flat with the local sun. It's only when you change the sun size. Even Neil deGrasse Tyson says that.
No, he doesn't.
He does. On the video, he says it actually proves the Earth's flat if you change the sun. If you change the scale of the sun to the Earth.
If you change the sun size and only have 2 observations. The wonderful thing is that we've done Eratosthenes observations with over 30 observations, which would make it impossible on a flat Earth. That can be one of my evidence next week. We can go into that. Atheist Mando for $5 says, "Spherical Earth model was around before the Vatican, and Helios was a Greek god, not one worshipped by monotheists and Catholics." Yep, that's true. Keith M for $2. "Why is all navigation based on a globe?"
Who's this for?
Well, you, I guess.
This,
I know the answer.
Right. I thought you were just reading chats out. Navigation isn't based on a globe. If you actually look at flight paths, they only make sense on a flat Earth. As I was saying before,
planets would disagree, of course.
You're doing it now. The northern hemisphere, the flights on a flat Earth and a globe Earth look similar, but when you're flying on southern hemisphere flights, they look so inaccurate on the globe model. They only make sense and they only make straight lines on the actual flat Earth map.
Yeah, they wouldn't be straight lines.
You translate it over. Everyone knows this, and that's why pilots in the southern hemisphere, they actually get asked on video. You can prove this with self-hand evidence. There's videos,
they laugh at people.
and I think they're on Durf's channel as well. They actually ask the pilots. You can tell the real. Like, after so many things, you can spot when something's fake and when something's not, based on how people behave in the video, how they act. You can tell they were real pilots.
Okay.
Shocked by the question, and they say it's flat. They know it's flat. They chase the sun in the sky.
Every pilot that I know that lives in the southern hemisphere,
it explains
which is quite
how
a lot
we have
of
a
them.
24-hour sun.
So again, I was just answering then. Every pilot in the southern hemisphere that I know has explained to me specifically how they use the
They might
haversine.
believe it's the globe, some of
Wow.
them, but the ones that
I
have
mean,
more
you
intellect
started
will
talking when I
realise
hadn't
it's
finished.
flat.
It was amazing, and that's how it's been the whole time. So they used something called the
really.
haversine. They use something called the haversine formula, which allows them to calculate their routes, and that haversine formula is based on the globe. Sarah Jones. Oh, also sextants specifically are designed to work on the globe. Sarah Jones for £5 says, "Does that mean that one of us is being paid by NASA? Does that mean the ones of us being paid by NASA can get staff discount at Disneyland? I must talk to my agent. Cheers." Yeah, the NASA bonus scheme was stopped after they spent all the money on POW, unfortunately. Spaceworks, Science Works for €5 says, "Show your model, don't spew around what you don't understand about the globe." Yeah, map is not a model. Henrik Simonson for 50 Donkey Kong dollars. "He used to be a Gimboid, a Glober, but he remains a Gimboid, a Flerfer." Nice. Teamster for Life for $5 says, "Gleason, what experiments have you personally done other than what you see when you look around?"
Mainly it's just studying, looking at experiments, and I have actually seen, as I said before, I live on the sea. I can see an island and worked out how far it is away based on the globe. I can see that with my eyes every day. And when the atmospheric conditions change, when the weather's different, when there's more humidity or whatever, some days you can't see it. And then people would say, "Oh, look, that must be hidden by the globe." No, it depends on what day and how clear it is. As I said before,
Because of refraction.
if there was no particles in the air, we can see an infinite distance across this earth unless there's obstructions. And that is provable in every experiment you want to do. You can go as high as you want to go. Your field of view will increase, and the horizon always rises to eye level.
No,
This
it
is
doesn't.
apparent on all verified, actual, trustworthy footage. It is only on government footage. It isn't.
Oh my
It
goodness.
always rises to eye level.
So you're debunking the biggest flat Earth argument at the moment by saying it rises to eye level. All the other flat earthers would disagree with you right now.
Such as?
Well, all of them, because they're all pushing the sextant as evidence of the flat Earth. And for the sextant to be evidence on the flat Earth would mean the horizon does not rise to eye level. So you know, by saying the horizon rises to eye level, you're actually disagreeing with like all of the other flat earthers right now, because they've dropped that argument.
Well, it's flat anyway, so when you go up, it's going to extend at the same amount. Well, but we don't know
Except the
how big
horizon
the Earth
doesn't
is.
rise
Obviously,
to eye
there's a
level.
wall. If there's a wall and we're going up, we can only see so far. Again, it depends on your optics. You're not thinking. You're thinking in like the human.
Yeah, I am
perception.
human. But again,
I know, but you have to remember we do
either
have
sextants
technology.
are evidence
That's
of
why
the Earth
people
being
believe in the
flat.
globe, because it was before technology.
Either flat earthers can claim the sextant is evidence of the Earth being flat, which is not, but they can claim it, or they can claim that the horizon rises to eye level. I think you guys need to have a chat and figure out which one it is, because it can't be both. It physically cannot be both. So either you are debunking all their sextant arguments right now, or you agree that the horizon does not rise to eye level. I think you and the rest of Flat Earth need to have a wee chat. Chris Holmes, £4.49 says, so he's had his 5 minutes to present his model, and he hasn't. Yeah, he failed at that. Luke Perry for £2 says, Yoda says, seagulls, stop it now. I want to listen to that now. That's fucking awesome. Logical Hillbilly for $5 says, Gleason, stop logic. That's our word. You're not allowed to use it. Atheist Mando, $5. Wait, this dude says that the Catholics are behind the heliocentric model. Weren't they the same church that silenced Galileo? Yeah, they were. It's amazing how the church changes its mind, really, like that. Apoc Razor became a new member. Welcome to Destroyers. Thank you very much. Dan Robinson for £5 says, seagulls are our overlords. Have you seen those fuckers go after tourists in Eastbourne and Brighton? Savage. Yeah, I once got attacked by a seagull, and they're fucking horrible things. Team Surf for Life for $5 says, Gleason, you complain about FTFE believing his information he finds online, so please explain where you gathered the information that you have gathered.
I never said just online. It's the source. It's government source. All governments. You're asking like for people with degrees and studying physics. These people have studied the government heliocentric model. These are the people that fund. They created the whole idea and funded it and pushed it to the education. So you're not going to learn certain things from them. You have to be to be an expert in something. You have to study it from all angles. You don't just be like, oh, I'm a physicist. I know. I have all the answers of human creation, how we got here, what's going on with what shaped the world is. None of these people know that. They're all the same lifespan as us. They all went to school, to university, and that's it. And most scientists are just university students. They're not actually these geniuses in white coats that figure out mysteries. They get told what to do. The boss gives them some work and they do it. And most of it is theoretical work based on nonsense, which is what astrophysics is. That's what most of physics is, nonsense. It doesn't apply to reality. It only applies in equations and theories. But no one can prove curvature. Nothing operates on a ball, and everything we see and live and experience is flat and motionless. To claim otherwise, that means the burden of proof is on you. And not a person in this chat watching now or watching this video ever can actually prove the Earth is a ball. Because it's not. It's an oblate spheroid apparently, but the moon is a perfect sphere. Yet the moon apparently came
from... The moon isn't a perfect sphere either. Tidal forces change that more than the Earth changes, actually.
The moon appears to be a perfect sphere, so perfect...
Not when you actually measure it, it doesn't, no.
Well, this is another debunk of the globe, that mathematically speaking, in probability terms, if the Earth was randomly created by a Big Bang, the fact that the only light source in the sky, the only two light sources in the sky, just two, and they both happen to be opposites of each other, hot and cold, positive and negative, they both
the moon's
are
not
perfectly
cold.
The same size.
The moon isn't
Listen,
cold.
You're speaking over me again. I've not spoke over you once until you've done it to me. Wrong again. The circles are so perfectly the same size that the eclipse. Now, if the Big Bang was true and that's so improbable in the grand scheme of things in a randomly generated universe, that the only place with life that we know of for thousands of millions of miles, what you like to talk about, the only place with life, the only things in the sky that are actually of any...
I don't know how you got to this.
These things of any significance, they match perfectly. And the fact that they're both opposites, and they follow the same path actually as well, and one governs, like the moon governs the months and the sun governs the hours and the days. And that's just impossible. You can't prove that with probability that would actually occur on a globe.
Did you really say that the moon is cold?
Well, they're both opposites. It's the yin yang. One is for the day, one is for the night. The sun is.
I see the moon during the day quite a lot.
Yeah, you can see it in the day, but it's generally there at night. When the absence of the sun.
You know, not even actually exactly the same size. There's about 1 arc minute difference between them.
But the eclipse, perfectly though.
Not perfectly, no. You can always see the kind of ring around the edge. There's about 1 arc minute difference in the angular size of them in the sky.
That's just light. That's not the physical object. That's light.
So D-Rock for $5 says, where is your model, evidence, or measurements of the flat Earth?
Not a single person.
So where is your model, your evidence, or your measurements of the flat Earth? If I was to ask you...
Again, another logical fallacy from a globetrot that doesn't understand.
No, there's no logical fallacy to ask you for a measurement to back up your claim.
No, it is, because the debate is you have to prove that the Earth is a globe. It's automatically flat.
And the debate is also, if you come to debate, both sides have to prove their claims.
And guess what? We're not in space, so we can't confirm the dimensions of an Earth on something that could be an infinite plane. And that's not so stupid.
Yeah, but we've been to space, so there's plenty of evidence.
You guys believe that space is infinite. Yeah, you can't
prove
that, but you think...
That's not even what we claim anymore.
Well, you believe it's expanding.
Yeah. But it's not infinite. Most scientists agree that it would have a finite barrier at this point.
Right, but that's all still theory. None of you can prove if it even is expanding or if it's not, or if it's...
Well, we can definitely show that it's expanding. We've measured that.
You believe in all this cuckoo stuff, but the things I'm saying about
science.
like logical
you call it
things about
cuckoo
laser
stuff.
tests,
We call it science.
Eagles like camera test things we can actually do. You think that's stupid?
Yeah, because
And
laser tests
the funniest thing of this whole
tests
show-
are accurate. Laser tests are going to tell us what's good. Look at this fucking laser
they can
bending
do.
through air.
They can do.
Well, then why is this laser bending through the air?
Because
I don't wanna use-
reflections, things can happen like that, and they take that into account. There's been flat Earth experiments where that's happened, but then like a few minutes later,
thing
it's
is,
not happened.
refraction happens to light. Refraction happens to light, and laser is light. You can't use lasers to measure flat over water. The Spirit for $5 says, I remember seeing military penguins. Oh, wait, that was Batman Returns. One of the better Batman
we already
movies.
proved Antarctic Patrol is a thing, though, and it's obviously a thing in every country.
One
which
ship,
means in
one
model,
ship that is a Royal Navy
area of
mission
Antarctica
of
is
humanitarian
actually protected by
reasons.
military. So
It's
that's
not
another thing
protected
I was
by
like,
military.
oh, else?
Philip
Right,
Welder
right.
for £2 says,
No,
damn,
when
this
you
guy
actually
is saying
don't
you're
speak-
dodging while dodging. I know, I think
when you actually don't
might
speak for a
have
few
a
minutes,
video
it
of him.
turns out I'm right about everything.
Might actually have a video of him somewhere. Oh yeah, here we go. Here's a video of him.
But yeah,
Dip,
there's a lot of other
dip,
things
duck,
that-
dodge, and dive. Yeah, just like old Spurs chemo there. The Sun Express for $20 says, Dear Flerf, I'm from an island in the Caribbean. When stood at a beach at night at 12 degrees 1966474 latitude, negative 70.0196396, Venezuela, looking north, you will see aircraft full of American tourists seemingly land underwater.
What?
Basically, he's talking about he's on an island in the Caribbean, and if he looks north at where his where is an airfield, and it brings the American troops in on their big ass planes, because of the curvature of the Earth, it looks like that airplane lands underneath the water.
That's just such nonsense. Again, the curvature
Evidence
over
is
the
nonsense,
distance
of
that
course.
human
Yes,
can
I
see
see.
with their eyes is so insignificant. Even if the Earth is a globe, you wouldn't
So-
see that.
Yeah, horizons are a thing. Beach 8 has been a member for
Not on a
23
globe,
months.
not
Nearly got
on
your
a
2-year
globe.
anniversary. Gets in. How have you
Be a
not gone
curve
completely
horizon.
mad yet, Craig? I fucking have gone completely mad. Don't you worry. Gaming with Both Hands for $5 says, show him the uninterrupted video of the launch of the Atlas V rocket that clearly shows curvature.
Oh, God.
Maybe I can use that as part of my evidence next time. D-Web for £5 says,
Great
I
launch.
apologise on behalf of the north of England. North. I'm getting kind of a mid kind of England vibe from you. Am I wrong?
No, that's about right.
Yeah, I mean, not quite Brummy, but you're somewhere close to Birmingham, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting. That's what I'm picking up. Could you tell where I'm from by listening to my accent?
Sorry. Is it Sussex or something?
Close. I'm from Bristol originally in England, but I live in Scotland now. So.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, you know Rachie, don't you?
Yeah, she's in the chat right now. She's
Yeah,
my
yeah,
next.
I know
She's my
she-
next target
she
for
asked
being an
if-
ex-flat earther.
She asked if I have a channel or anything. I'm just gonna say it after this is finished. If you want to send me like the emails or anything, so I can.
Yeah. Well,
Organise something.
Rachie's got her channels. Rachie0000. If you she'll happily talk to you in the comments over there about stuff. She is a flat
Can you
earther.
direct
but-
message people on YouTube?
No, but I mean, you can hit her up on Discord if you're on Discord.
I'll figure it out. It's all
Yeah.
right.
But just go to her channel and ask for her details. I'm sure she'll give them to you. We've got a bit of a history, me and Rachie. She pisses me off sometimes, but I think she's close to coming back to reality. I'm working on it.
Well,
The
I
Sun
watched
Express.
one of the-
$10. Canada, Russia, USA, and the Scandinavians have an Arctic patrol. They prevent a grand total of nobody from sailing the Arctic seas. Ditto the Antarctic. Yeah. Jeffrey Hollenbeck for $4.20. Flerfs only lie in straw man and go nuh-uh. In my experience of 600 baits, yes, that's true. Rachel O'Daniels, my Twitter bot, for $10 Australian says, you're the fucking best. No, you're the fucking best. The Spirit for $10 says, up and down are relative to the observer. It mandates a point you consider as down to determine an up. This is why it's easy for inexperienced divers to get disorientated. I've heard about the problems with inexperienced divers literally going the wrong way. Sarah and Fry for £5 says, does this Flerf claim he has a degree? He wasted his money. He can't understand the basics of the real world. How did he get out of primary school? No, I don't think Gleason claimed he had a degree in physics or anything, did you?
No.
No. I think that might have just been a misunderstanding of what we were saying. He was talking about my challenge for someone with a physics degree, master's level, to tell me I'm wrong about what science says about gravity. But Philosopher King Gaming, who just became a new member, welcome to Destroyers, thank you very much. Henrik Simerson for 50 Donkey Kong dollars says, tell the Flerf if he wants to sound confident / sane, he needs to control his nervous laughter. Ooh.
Ooh,
he's a
what, you paid
psychologist.
$50 to say that? What are these
No,
nerds doing?
50 Donkey Kong dollars.
What the fuck's a Donkey Kong dollar?
DKK.
Bro, I don't need to listen to anyone spending fucking Donkey Kong dollars on you.
No, it's not really Donkey Kong dollars. I think it's Dutch krona, DKK. I just put Donkey Kong dollars because I like Donkey Kong, I guess. The Logical Hillbilly for $5 says, Gleason is such a pussycat without the cat part of... Oofed. Just slinging mud there.
Why are all these fucking Globers spending money to say things that are already debunked if you just look at the right channels online, look at the right people?
Yes, that's right.
Go
That's
on
where
Durf's channel.
you go to
Go on
Flat Earth
Eric
channels to
Dubé's.
find the debunk. Oh, come on,
It's
I've
not been
debunked
debunked,
everything
though.
Eric Dubé's ever said.
Your debunks aren't thorough because you don't understand the model. I've already told you.
There isn't a Flat
It's
Earth
a false
model, I've
debunk.
already told you.
It's a pseudo
Again,
debunk.
I only debunk people's specific points about what they are claiming. So I never
Yeah,
straw
but
man.
that means you'll never debunk anything because you're just targeting words and phrases. You're not.
No.
actually
I'm
getting down to
I'm
the-
targeting specific misunderstandings of physics. Philosopher King Gaming
Yeah,
for
of
$2
fake
says,
physics.
wonder why he doesn't use the AE map for his logo. Maybe you should start using the AE map for your logo, Gleason. Wait, no, Gleason already did that. Alexander Gleason. Woden Toad for $2 says, debunk this. Calculus. How does it work? Well, we could ask Newton as he came up with it. Thank you, Newton. Water Van Bellegehem for €10 says, nothing you say makes sense, and you turn what happened around because you utterly lost. Without a model, without any proof, without any reason to exist, really, please don't procreate. Oofed. Harsh. Justin Weber...
It's always been flat. It's a recent claim to say it's been
2,500 years isn't that recent.
Yeah, but
Justin
based
Weber
on what?
for
You have no
£2,
evidence to prove that. That's
apart
a
from the
theory
writings
again.
of the ancient Greeks, of course. Justin Weber for
Writing.
£2 says,
Does that mean Game
Gleason,
of Thrones
learn
is
how
true
a
as well?
conversation works. The Spirit for $5 says, this is why I don't debate with 16-year-olds. Mariek Zeonts, who's been a member for... Oh, God, I just jumped. Where is it? 14 months, says, my fluffy cat has more paws than than this guy has IQ points. Logical Hillbilly, $5. No, Gleason, this is not a debate. You're merely free entertainment to make Craig money. Thank you for your participation. Yeah, I
That's the
have
difference between
I have
Globers and,
monetized the
Flat
stupidity
Earthers.
of flat earthers, and that makes them really angry.
The truth doesn't pay.
Really?
Only
Then
get-
why does Dearth have a
You get
patron?
paid to lie.
Why does Dearth have a patron and a
Hey,
PayPal?
if he's making money, that's a good thing. I think he's doing.
So
a
why
good
is he
thing,
allowed to do it, but I'm not?
Because he's telling the truth.
I'm telling
You're
the
not.
truth.
You're
I am.
profiting off a lie, off a scam.
No. I'm
He's
telling the
making
truth.
sanity.
Dearth is a con man and a liar, as I have
He's not a
demonstrated
con
many
man.
times.
He wins every debate he has. You've
Then why is
never
he afraid to
debated him.
debate me?
He's not. I bet I could get him on.
I guarantee you
see-
can't, because he says, this is his own words. No, I'm not debating FTFE. He's a scumbag. He doesn't deserve my time. That's because he's
Yeah, but he might
terrified and
change
needs an
his mind.
excuse. No, you won't.
He might
It's
change
been
his mind.
so many times flat earthers come, oh, why don't you go debate Dearth? I challenge Dearth openly, 100%. I will even,
All right,
I will not do it on my channel. I will go to Dearth's channel and talk to him there, where he's in control of the mute button, but he is too scared to even talk to me.
All right then. How come you've not claimed his 2 bitcoins then?
Because other people have.
It's-
I didn't do an experiment that specifically meets his criteria, but there's been many people, including Where's Wally especially, that have done that.
Don't know who Where's Wally is.
Just Google Where's Wally. Eddie Reese, $5. The moderated debate should be of Oxford debate format, no open debate portion. I'm going to ask MC Toon what he thinks the best format is, and talk it through with Ranty, as he will be the moderator. Gary Little for $10 says, I lived in West Texas, which is as flat as Kansas. I watched water towers appear top down. I knew the Earth to be a globe before I entered school. The teacher just confirmed it. Yeah, that's what I think most people have, really. Norman Dixon, $10. I navigated ships in the US Navy. Hello, Navy brother. Why do ships in open ocean have to make pre-calculated course changes to get where they need to go based on the curvature of Earth?
Sorry, was that for me? I was just doing something.
Why do ships in open ocean have to make pre-calculated course change based on the curvature of the Earth to get where they need to go?
They don't.
I mean, as a sailor, I can tell you they do, because I've personally plotted those routes.
So how do Navy targeting systems work with the lasers going over 100 miles?
They don't target things
directly
straight down. The lasers usually be targeting things in the sky.
No, they target things across as well in all different directions.
But
that's how like cannons work.
Cannons fire in an arc using gravity, as do railguns. Amazing.
That doesn't use gravity. That's just density of the balling.
Yeah, density isn't a force. Windcaller, who's been a member for 4 months, says, does Gleason actually believe what he says? Does he even hear how moronic he's being? No, he doesn't. He really doesn't. Not Today Suicide for $2 says, Flat Earth is a cult, 100%. Check out my debate with Planner Walk about that subject on his channel. Gaza, the random reviewer, has been a member for 11 months, says, the globe's been proved by Mr. Sensible's mage. I'm going to use that as evidence next time, because I didn't really get to do it today. Atheist Mando for $5. Has the Flerf heard of Professor Alden's model for the flat Earth? He could use that to prove his flat Earth. I've never heard of that myself, so... Space Works, Science Works, €10. The Mayans built the pyramids to scale of the solar system. Our understanding of the solar system helped discover a pyramid because we followed the known scale. Yeah, I was going to bring up the paper that actually talked about that. I can do that next time as well. Merp for £5 says, if projection this powerful exists, maybe the sky really could be a hologram. Frank Knight, $5 Canadian dollars, says, did he just say the moon and sun were based off days and months and it cannot be the other way around? What the hell? Yeah, he did. Zachary Burns became a new member. Welcome to Destroyers. Thank you. Average Joe, $5. Oh, fuck, it skipped again. Are flat earths metric, imperial, or derp? Not Today Suicide, $2. This Flerf is certainly top left. Check out Skatoon Show to learn all about top left after this. Neon Soul for €5. Everything we know comes from Globies, especially knowledge about ancient civilizations. Why is one true and the other a lie? Greeks versus Mayans, etc. That's interesting.
They're all flat earthers.
The Greeks would disagree with you, of course. The Spirit for $10 says Santiago to Chile to Sydney, Australia is 14 hours. New York City to London is 7-ish hours. How are these flights so close in length on a flat Earth without breaking the solar path in the sky? Yeah, that's an issue.
Again, all flight paths, you can track them and they only make sense on a flat Earth. You can do it live as well.
Of course, pilots would disagree with you. Syed Ahmed for
$4.99
says...
They fly level with a gyroscope.
This was a terrible showing of incredulity and purposeful ignorance. Poe and troll. Convince me otherwise, keep it up, Craig. No, I don't think he's a Poe or a troll. I think he's a real flat earther, as he demonstrated with his ability to converse. Crimson Fang, €5. Gleason, you keep saying FTFE hasn't debunked your model. When you don't even have one, you fail. And that is all the super chats, guys.
This all sounds like a load of crybabies. I've not heard one person in this super chat prove any curvature or mention anything. It's just they don't understand how it works and they cry about it. Well, I used to not understand, and I looked into it for about 4 years, and that's why I know more than you do.
Norman Dixon says, my God, he just told two sailors who have navigated ships that ships don't follow the curve of the Earth. I know, it's amazing.
They don't. It's like saying snipers use Coriolis. I know people
snipers
that
absolutely do use Coriolis.
They don't. I know.
When they fire over a kilometre, they have to take it into account. It's even included in snipers' manuals.
Buddy, listen, I know an ex-paratrooper who's...
I know many ex-military. Being ex-military myself.
He's an actual paratrooper, and he's also a flat earther, and he also 100% confirms there is no take into account for curvature when they take a shot ever.
All of the snipers' manuals would disagree with him, so maybe he wasn't very good at his
job. Manual written by the government that pushes the globe, but it doesn't mean they actually take it into account,
teaches the people how to fire, of course.
Wind and distance. Distance.
Coriolis is the thing, and we can talk about how that's a fact next time. Guys, thank you very much for all the super chats. It really is amazing. Your support is always mind-blowing. If you want to help the channel, please go to share what I do on Facebook and Twitter. Gleason, do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, just denial, really. Just straight up denial.
Yes, you did do a lot of that.
I already did enough. To prove the Earth's flat. It's just people.
You did nothing to prove the Earth's flat, of course.
It's whether people can look at it in
critical. They all do.
Thought. Can they look at information and interpret it correctly? No, like you do. You don't understand the model. You claim there isn't a model.
You don't
There
have
is
a
a
model.
model. You
No,
don't know how it works, and therefore, just because I don't give you all the answers before you bite my head off means
There
I'm
isn't
wrong.
a
No,
model.
all the answers are out there. You've just not looked. You don't know them all. It's not my job to teach you.
So it's clear you don't
It's
even know
your
what a
job.
model is, Gleason. That's the problem. You don't know
I do. I
what a
clearly
model
stated
is.
that the UN map is the basis for the model. I never once
Yeah, well,
said
that
a map
shows
is
that
the
you
model.
do not know what a model is, because a map is not a model.
No, but it's a big part of an Earth
No,
model.
it's not.
It is, because it explains
Goodness.
how.
Yeah,
there's
again, you
daylight
just
in
demonstrated
certain
that.
places.
Anyway,
That's what we base
I
our
need to get off
experiments on.
and get ready for
Retarded.
the next stream, which will be over on Skatoon Show. If one of my mods could please put a link to Skatoon Show stream in the chat. I thank
All
everyone
our
for joining
experiments are
tonight.
based from our
Next
position on Earth,
Saturday,
Map doesn't.
Ranty will be moderating a debate between me and Gleason, with possibly a second party for both sides, so look forward to that. Gleason, thank you for taking the time to come and entertain us. I do appreciate it. And I will speak to you next week. Remember, everybody, stupidity is not a right. Fight the flat earth.
YouTube isn't science as well, guys.
Yeah, definitely not, you're right. Alright, catch you later, Gleason. Good night, everyone. See you in a minute over on Skatoon Show. One of my mods could please put the link to the Skatoon Show debate in the chat. Thank you very much, Adrenochrome Slurper. I do appreciate that. Please share what I do on Facebook and Twitter. Love you all. Thank you for watching. New episodes of Flerfs to Idiots are coming soon, as well as some remakes of older episodes, so look forward to that. All hail the Seagull Overlord, says Dan Robinson. Spirit $10 says it doesn't work on a flat map. You can't find a straight line from South America to Australia without breaking the sound barrier over North America. Therefore, Earth is spherical. Good night, everyone. Remember, stupidity's not a right. Fight the flat Earth. You better all be dancing. Yeah, I love you all, flat earthers. I've monetized your stupidity. Thank you.